push too hard, something will push back.
What happens next is my favorite part.
Okay, ding-dongs. If you don't subscribe to Jeremy Ice and Fire, you're gonna spend the night in the box.
And a night in the box we shall spend. Welcome one, welcome all. The day has finally come for the From Season 4 teaser trailer. And we got that awesome countdown yesterday that got all of us super hyped to wonder what exactly was going to be coming. Is it just going to be a poster, the release date, a teaser, a full-on trailer? What are we going to get? And I'm so excited. I am so happy. You guys heard me yesterday. I actually love that we're getting a little teaser before the full trailer. As much as I want to see the full 2-minute trailer, I am glad that they're doing the same format that they did for season 3, when they're releasing just a little snippet at first. And I imagine the full trailer will probably come around a month from now, as we do have the premiere date is confirmed to be April 19th. So it's right around the corner, guys. We are not far away from season 4 being here. But I'm glad. We got a nice little snippet to analyze and dissect. It didn't show us a whole lot, but there's some hidden things there that I think is going to be fun to explore. And yeah, we got our first look at season 4, guys.
Yeah, I mean, this is so exciting. This is everything that we have been waiting for. So you got your teaser. A lot of us, I'm trying not to be disappointed because I'm really excited to have anything new, right, to talk about. But I just thought we were going to get the entire, trailer. I will say immediately, guys, we might be looking at having to apologize to MGM India because that teaser is heavily filtered the same way that they filtered their video. So I think we're going to have to apologize to them. We're going to have to get them out of the box.
Maybe we need to unbanish them. Who knows? I guess we'll find out once season 4 gets here definitively. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a rough cut. I mean, that was one thing that I noticed right off the bat. You can definitely tell that this is not the fully polished version of what the show is going to look like. Not that it looked bad or anything, but you can definitely tell that this was a little bit of a rough edit just so they could get a teaser out. Like, this is definitely not the polished, finished look that the show will look like when it eventually comes out. Definitely some tinkering still needs to be done. But I'm glad we got something. We got a nice, interesting look at season 4. We get to see some of our characters. We did actually get to see the man in yellow. We were discussing that on our last night's live stream when we heard that we were going to be getting something today. We were wondering, if we do get a trailer, if we do get a teaser, will the man in yellow be in it, or are they going to save his scenes for the actual show? But no, there we go. We got a nice little snippet of the man in yellow as well. And his dialogue was very telling. I feel like his dialogue was super telling and kind of confirming a lot of the theories that a lot of us have been talking about for a while, that he's been witnessing these cycles for a very long time. And apparently we're coming on to his favorite part. And maybe that's why he has decided to pop his head up. But no, we got some good. It was, again, wasn't the full trailer, but I am super excited to have anything. And I imagine the full trailer is not too far behind, guys. So don't worry, it'll come. It will come. But let's see who we got in here, shall we? Let us know what you guys think. We're going to dive into this thing. We're going to play it here again in a minute, and we are going to dive into every frame. We got David in the house. What is up, David? Good to see you. Welcome. We got Luke Starkiller in the house. Hey, Jeremy, watching last night's live, and the dreams thing was hilarious. I used to dream Miss Piggy and I would fly around my room, and then I would fly down the stairs fast, and bam, wake up. It's crazy, right? Having a dream where you're flying, tell me it's not the craziest dream in the world, right? It's one of the craziest experiences I've ever had, having a dream where I was flying. It's nuts. But yeah, that was a fun discussion last night. We got Anon in the house. Welcome. Was the trailer released? It was. And I got to say, they were pretty punctual. Right at 11:30 p.m., right at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on the dot, it was on all of their social media accounts. It was on Instagram. It was on Twitter. It was on YouTube. Everywhere. Like, they were punctual. So I'll give them that. They had that countdown, and the countdown was accurate. We got Ando in the house. Yes, we are back, Ando. We are back. We got Samuel in the house. What is up, Samuel? What happens next is my favorite part. Man in yellow. Yes. It is here, Kilgore. It is here. Welcome. Hello, teaser has dropped. Let's go. It's here, guys. It is here. Is it just a teaser? Yes, it was just a teaser. Again, around a 30-second teaser like we got for season 3. And then, again, the full 2-minute trailer, I imagine, is probably only around a month away. But yeah, here we go, folks. Got Christine Jelly Bean in the house. I see Doc Kaiju. Welcome, welcome. I see Palmer Shelby. Welcome, everybody. So glad to see the whole Fromily here. Welcome, one. Welcome, all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Let us know what you guys think of the trailer. We're going to play it here again right now, and then I'm going to pull it up so we can kind of dissect it frame by frame. But I'll play it the whole thing through one more time so everybody can check it out again.
Mom.
If we push too hard, something will push back.
What happens next is my favorite part.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It is here. It is here. Yeah, I mean, he's scary, right? The Man in Yellow is he's a great villain. When they introduced his character at the end of season 3, and when I had him on the channel, I told him this as well. The actor Doug, who's the coolest guy. I told him I can't remember the last time I've seen a character make this much of an impact on a show and on a fandom in under a minute of screen time. Literally under a minute of screen time. It's like he's on screen for like 40 something seconds in total. And I told him I can't remember the last time one character has had this much of a massive effect on a whole fandom, and it really has. Like he completely changed the entire From trajectory in every way, shape, and form in terms of where we're theorizing going forward. But yeah, I'm glad we got to see him. And again, him kind of talking about. We'll pull it up here and we'll go through it frame by frame. But at the end, I mean, we hear him talking about what happens next is my favorite part, which of course seems to indicate very heavily the theory that we've all been discussing and was hinted at very heavily in season 3 as well, that there are cycles. There are definite cycles that are going on, and he seems to be witnessing all of them, which we had a feeling. We had a feeling the Man in Yellow has been around for quite a while. So that's good to kind of get some confirmation, light confirmation there.
Yeah, we were all thinking this is a cycle, and the reincarnation factor of it all, the finale letting us know we have come back over and over again, also confirm heavily that this is a cycle. It's a loop that they're stuck in. So his dialogue kind of emphasizes not only that it's a cycle, but also we learned something else, you guys. So one of our theories last time was perhaps Tabitha and Jade have made it the farthest out of all of the reincarnations. They're the ones that are figuring things out, and that's why he's showing up. Well, it turns out that that is not correct. Not only have they not been the first, but this is a cycle where he has a favorite part. This is his favorite part, meaning there has been another pair, another 2 of you that made it this far.
That might have gotten this far too. Yeah, it could very well indicate that. That's very true. Absolutely. I mean, it seems like he very much, we were wondering what kind of role he's going to play in season 4. Whether is he the big villain? Is he the main big bad? Or is he just another, force that the Fromville community is going to have to come up against? And I always thought that he was going to be the main villain. I feel like if you're heading into season 4 and 5, if these are going to be your final 2 seasons, it gets a little tough to continuously introduce new villains and new villains and new villains. But if you're going to set up a main villain, you would like to do that right around, the end of season 3 and flesh him out for the final 2 seasons. But yeah, it seems like he very much has been witnessing these cycles for who knows how long. And yeah, he has a favorite part. What's coming up next is my favorite part. Clearly, these cycles play out in a very similar fashion, which we've seen a lot of evidence to support that, from Miranda's timeline to Tabitha's timeline. A lot of similarities there. So yeah, the cycles is very much confirmed there. No, we didn't see the boy in white, unfortunately. He's 2 years older now. Yeah, they're all 2 years older now, that's for sure. No boy in white, unfortunately, but maybe we'll see him in the fuller trailer. But the man in yellow looking down at someone, probably Jim. I don't think it's Jim. I think he's looking down at Tabitha here, probably. Maybe Julie. Could be Julie as well. I get the feeling that this scene is probably not long after he just killed Jim, which is giving me a lot of hope that season 4 is going to pick up right where season 3 left off. I wouldn't be surprised if this is right after Tabitha finds Jim's body and she's on the ground, distraught, holding him in her arms. And this is when the man in yellow says, "What happens next is my favorite part." I wouldn't be surprised if he's talking to Tabitha here. But let me know what you guys think in the chat. Who's he talking to here? What do you guys think?
I think you make a compelling argument because this has to be somebody that he's interacted with multiple times to be like, hey, what happens next is my favorite part. Like, I always get you, right? Like your typical villain sort of dialogue where it's talking to the hero of the story saying, I always get you and what happens next. So I do think it's going to be Tabitha. Jade will probably show up because like we were talking about last night, they are not too far behind Jim. So if Tabitha is running and she heard the scream, I'm sure Jade also heard the scream.
Jade might have also heard it as well. And Julie's also another good possibility as well.
Or all three.
Or
I mean,
all three.
Julie is literally right there, and everything is happening so quickly that it could be all three. It could be Julie and her father, kind of like holding on to Jim. It could be Tabitha, like you described, and Jade.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to like India, MGM India, I would have to assume that they signed off on the specific line that they put for the men in yellow of like welcome home. If we put both of those things together, welcome home, what happens next is my favorite part.
If the India one is real.
I mean, but it's like maybe they did AI, but I'm sure somebody signed off. Like, what are you gonna make them say? And they signed off like, okay, fine, that sounds credible. You know, it's the official site.
Yeah, I know it's a little weird, but I don't know. I still don't 100% trust it. But I mean, I love the dialogue though. Like that dialogue got me super excited when I heard about it. Him, making it seem like, oh, I've been waiting so long for you to come home. It was a very intriguing dialogue. Did the trailer release? Yes, not a full on 2-minute trailer, but we did get a teaser, which was, I was hoping we were going to get just a teaser before we get the full trailer. So I am kind of glad they did it this way. But yes, the full teaser trailer is out right now. And I imagine, again, maybe a month and a half from now, we'll get a full 2-minute trailer before the actual season comes, which has been confirmed to be April 19th, which is very weird. From usually airs on a Sunday. And April 19th, I remember looking it up. I believe April 19th is not a Sunday. I think it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So yeah, we're going to have April 19th. We are just 74 days away now from season 4 hitting our screens. So yeah, I imagine we'll get a full 2-minute trailer, around a month and a half from now. But we got the teaser for now, and I'll play it one more time for anyone who maybe hasn't seen it yet or is just coming in. We'll play it one more time. It's a nice, quick little 30-second snippet, but it is fun, and it is awesome to know that we are back.
Mom.
If we push too hard, something will push back.
What happens next is my favorite part.
April 19th is a Sunday.
I was just going to say, yeah, April 19th is a Sunday. All right, so that's good. I just, From is just better on Sundays, so that's better. Good. My bad there. And yeah, they usually release them right around midnight on Saturday night, which is when we usually did our watch parties. We'll usually we go live Saturday night at around 10 p.m. and do like a 2-hour pregame show. And then when the episode drops right at midnight, we do a live watch party right when it drops. That's usually the format that we do. So yes, if anyone does, want to stay up till midnight when the episodes actually drop and not have to wait till Sunday, we'll probably be doing some watch parties right there at midnight when the episode drops right then and there. So that'll be fun. That will be fun. Yeah, if you don't watch the trailer 3 times tomorrow, a tree will block your road. If you don't watch the trailer 300 times, I would say a tree might block your road. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. Who's he talking to here? Who's the man in yellow talking to here? Is it Tabitha? Is it Jade? Is it Julie? Is it someone else? Is it multiple characters? Let us know what you guys think. Who's this dialogue directed at? The only reason I think it's Julie is because I think Tabitha goes to town without Jim, and that's why Julie is stunned when she's saying "Mom." Could be, yeah, it very well could be Julie. Very well could be Julie. I feel like Julie, Jade, and Tabitha are the 3 best candidates in terms of who this dialogue is directed at. I imagine it's got to be one of those 3. But yeah, I'd go out. I'd go out on the ocean if I had a boat. I'd go out on the ocean. Yeah, it's here, folks. It is here. And I know that this is a during the day live stream, which is a little bit different from what we usually do. So rest assured, I am going to be doing multiple live streams breaking down this trailer and discussing it with each and every one of you. I'll probably do another one tonight. I'm not going to lie. If not tonight, tomorrow night. Definitely we'll probably do another one. And I'm going to start working on my teaser trailer breakdown video as well. I'll probably have that up later on today or tomorrow as well. But yeah, we're going to dissect the hell out of this thing while we wait for the full trailer to eventually get here. So we shall see. We shall see what we can all pick up. Yeah, it seems like it picks up right off where it left off with him killing Jim. I'm really hoping it does. I am. I mean, this is giving me a little bit more hope that it might actually pick up right where season 3 left off. Just because season 3 left off on like a pretty big cliffhanger. Like that's a pretty big moment cliffhanger that season 3 left off on. So you hate to have season 4 start with like a time jump where you don't get to see the direct aftermath of Jim's death. Seeing Tabitha discover his body, seeing Jade discover his body. Like that's the stuff we want to see. We want to see Tabitha discovering Jim's body. That's what we want to see. We don't want a time jump to the point where, they're already in town and Jim's already buried. That would be horrible. So this is giving me a little bit more hope that season 4 is going to pick up right where season 3 left off.
And what an opening. Can you imagine that opening? We're going to get that like heavily emotionally charged moment right off the bat because you know that Tabitha will be devastated because after all, she does say, even though she's a reincarnated person, she tells Julie specifically, your father has been the love of my life. So in her life, in this specific version, that is the love of her life. Even though they're getting divorced and all of this is happening, they were closer, right? Right before the end and right before he gets killed, everything gets better, of course, right? That's how life works. She's going to be just devastated. And what an opening that's going to make for our very first episode of the new season to have her have that moment with Jim. The reason why I don't think that Man in Yellow is talking to Julie is because Julie, even though she's a story walker, she is not one of the main components of the sacrifice, that being Tabitha and Jade, right? That his problem, the Man in Yellow's problem, I feel, is with Tabitha and Jade. Those are the 2 people that keep being reincarnated, keep trying to figure things out. So that line I feel is more appropriate for one of them too, right? Like you always get your villain mocking the hero of the story. That's more fitting for one of them too. And I think it's going to be Tabitha.
Yeah, I think Tabitha does fit the best. I mean, just given the dialogue and given the angle, I mean, it looks like he's kneeling down and he's down on the ground looking down on someone. And it would just make sense that it would be Tabitha, gripping Jim's body on the ground as he's saying this. I just feel like that probably would make the most sense. But I could definitely see it being, Jade or Julie as well. Those are also really good candidates for it. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Again, it definitely points to the cycles that he's been witnessing for a very long time, which is good. And here we see that despondent look on Tabitha's face. This must be right after she comes back. I mean, she's got blood on her cheek and on her and on her face, and she didn't get cut or anything. So this has got to be Jim's blood right after she was done gripping his body. So I imagine this is her returning to town just after finding out he's alive. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Jade is a little ways behind her, bringing Jim's body back to town. But yeah, you can see just that 1,000-yard stare on her face, like the look of someone that feels like they just lost everything. And I can't wait to see how she plays that initial scene. I imagine she's going to kill it.
Oh my God, she's gonna do amazing. But yes, so smart, Jeremy. So smart. Absolutely. She did not get hurt. Last time that we saw her, nothing had happened. Nothing physical had happened to her. She didn't have any injuries. And this is just blood on her face.
Yeah.
So, such a compelling argument, Jeremy. I think you are 100% correct. That has to be Jim's blood from her caressing his head. We know that he got his throat slashed. So, that's probably her caressing or holding him, and that's how she got the blood on there. We do see she has tears just streaming, running down her face, and that look of, oh my God, there's so much happening. The shock, almost when you can't accept what's happening, and you're so shocked that you are disassociating. That's
it's not real yet. It hasn't sunk in for her yet that Jim's dead. Like she's just full on shock mode. Yeah.
She looks like she's disassociating. So I think it would have to be her. She's the one that she saw Men in Yellow. She had that conversation with Men in Yellow. She saw Jim's body. She saw future Julie. It's a lot. So at this point, she is disassociating. And I do like what the chat is saying. They're saying, no, 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 no is playing in my head. And that is what she does. No, no, no is a way of disassociating, of looking at reality and saying, I refuse to live in this reality. So that is perfect. She's probably saying that.
Oh shit, love it. Yeah, you know it. Yeah, I mean that'll be an interesting test for season 4 when season 4 comes around. If we can count how many times Tabitha says no, 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 no throughout the season. How many times does she? We'll have to try and keep a tally on that. But yeah, that's totally her inner dialogue right now, 100%. And on the inner monologue is just no, 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 absolutely. We got Robert Saunders for $5. Thank you so much, Robert. Very much appreciate you, my friend. It looks like Sophia might have brought a Bible and a large cross sitting next to her, and the blood on her collar almost mirrors Jasmine's blood. Yeah, let's take a look at Sophia because we did get a nice look at her too, didn't we? We got to see her sitting down on what looked to be a bed. She's got her glasses on. Where exactly was that? We will find Sophia. We got a good look at Randall. His scar is fucking gnarly. Love that. Let's see. Sophia, where are you? Oh, look at Donna out in the woods in front of one of the totems. All right, we'll look at that next.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. We see she's got some cuts and scratches on her face, some cuts and scratches on her neck. She's got the cross there. Yeah, she's got the Bible and the crucifix right there. So, and it looks like this is indeed the clinic inside Fromville, the Christie's medical clinic. So yeah, it looks like we finally have our first iteration of, or our first example that we've seen anyway, of a Bible in Fromville. Because Father Cautry did make a point to state that in season 1, that he found it very odd that out of all the people that have been stuck here over the years, not one Bible has come into Fromville until now. So yeah, good spot, Robert.
Wow, Robert. Of course. I was waiting to see what your opinion was going to be on this, Robert, because you have a very keen eye. Robert knows all.
Oops.
Now, when it comes to Sophia, I think that we get a lot of information from the still of her. So she has injuries, right? When we see her filming with Kenny, right? We got a picture where she was with Kenny. There's no injuries on her. But here it looks like she just got there, and whoever she was traveling with, they didn't make it. We were all thinking, is it going to be Sophia and her family? Is it going to be Sophia by herself? Something tells me that those injuries are because she got there and her family didn't make it.
with
Mhm.
passengers. Yeah, I think
She
you're
has
right.
blood on her collar. So an ordeal happened and she was the only one that made it out. Now, her praying and having the Bible, to me, Robert, what that would indicate is that we have entered a new chapter. So perhaps there wasn't a Bible or anybody that had a Bible until Tabitha and Jade made it that far. A lot of us are
Mm,
thinking that this is a game of chess between two characters or opposing forces. So if you make it that far, then maybe you get a Bible, right? They're taking something from you, but from always gives you something. So
mhm.
perhaps with everything that they have been taking, they're also providing tools of sorts, and the Bible might be one of them. Now, we see her praying, and she's very much giving Tilly vibes, but also Sarah vibes. And I don't know, the way that she's praying with such desire, such passion, kind of makes me think that the theory that we have been talking about in Discord, that she might full on create a cult and from, it looks possible. It looks
Ah,
like something that she would do. She looks very passionate about
I
her
mean,
prayer.
I mean, just looking at this, yes, you definitely get the sense. I mean, she's very deeply religious, and we did learn that she is the daughter of a pastor. So I imagine there is just a ton of trauma there to unpack beneath the surface for a character like this. She finds herself in a place like this. I imagine she's going to liken it to what she knows, and that is the Bible. Maybe she thinks that this is, the apocalypse, Armageddon. I imagine she's going to probably try to conflate it that way, because that's what usually religious types like this try to do. They see something tragic like this happening, you try to make sense of it. That the human mind always tries to make sense of chaos that is happening around us. And for her belief system to be that of Christianity, I wouldn't be surprised if she kind of weaves that in and thinks that's what's going on here and from. But no, that could be very interesting if she, could potentially start appealing to other maybe religious people that are already in Fromville and kind of create her own little cult. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? I guess it's going to be interesting to see just what kind of character she's going to be in general. I guess, like what kind of role is she going to play in Fromville? Why did From add this character to the story? I guess is anytime we get far into a story, anytime you get close to the end, and season 4 is the beginning of the end, according to John Griffin. Anytime you get this deep into a story and you introduce a new character, the first thing I ask is, okay, why did the writer introduce this character into the story this late? What purpose is this character going to serve? And it's kind of just too soon to tell, really. We just don't know enough about her and what role she's going to be playing. So I think when it comes to her, that's what I'm most interested in, which is what kind of character is she going to be? What's her demeanor going to be like? How is she going to kind of react to Fromville? Is she going to be a problem for Boyd? Is she going to be an ally? Like that, I'm just looking forward to that.
Yeah, right. We're always looking. Boyd does not. He has 99 problems and everybody has one. He doesn't need another problem. But what I think is there's a pattern. There's an established pattern that we
Yeah.
have seen. And the reason why she was introduced is because, like we have noticed, there are roles in the town that get fulfilled as people die. Somebody
Mhm.
comes along and takes over that role. I think, looking at the pattern that we have established, Father Kotri died. He was never replaced. Tilly came in and she offered them some prayer and she offered them some talk of religion. And so did Elgin, but it wasn't enough. They are now gone. So now it's Sophia's turn. From has always had religious talk in the show.
Yep.
Kotri used to be the person that would tell us about the Bible. Tabitha did a few times talk about the Bible, but we have always been talking about religion and from. So it's not
Mhm.
new.
Yeah.
With Kotri leaving us, we now need a character that would put those ideas into the heads of the people in town
Mhm.
because he is no longer there. We need a character that can give us little tidbits about the Bible or about what might be happening. And so, since they don't have Kotri, I think this is why she was introduced.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, to be that spiritual guide, that spiritual kind. I mean, I suppose it could be possible. Yeah. I don't know why I saw this and I just like this for some reason too. One of Tilly's grandchildren. I mean, we did hear Tilly talk about all the children and grandchildren that she does have. So, I mean, that would be funny. If nothing else, it would be pretty funny if she did turn out to be Tilly's freaking grandkid. That'd be pretty funny.
I saw another one that was pretty good. Shout out to the chat. And a really creative one that said, I believe it was Debbie Ebby Bobebi who said she might be the daughter of the pastor from the church that Tabitha goes into. And
Yeah. Yeah.
right? That would be really interesting.
That would be. That would be very interesting. I mean, it would give her a little bit of a deeper tie to the story already and a little bit of a tie to Tabitha in a sense, where that could be something that her and Tabitha, kind of bond together maybe if she finds out that Tabitha met her father on the outside. Like that could be an interesting way to tie her to the already existing story. So no, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Is the church from the other side connected? The priest was sus. Again, maybe it is. Maybe this is where she is from. Maybe she is from that congregation. If that's not her father, maybe she's from that congregation. Maybe. But yeah, we shall see. But we've got a couple more super chats rolling in. We got David Riley for $1.99. Thank you so much, David Riley, for the $1.99. Very much appreciate that, my friend. So glad to see you here. And yeah, Fromily is back, guys. Thank you. We got Robert Saunders for another $5. Thank you so much, Robert. Very much appreciate you as well. The vision of a hand reaching up is most likely a Boyd vision of Abby, and you can almost see an eye in the hay. An eye in the hay. Bible could mean new hope or new knowledge. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, what the Bible represents symbolically, I could definitely see that where a Bible coming into for the very first time, could that be a symbolic representation of new hope coming into Fromville? I could see that, definitely. And yeah, let's get to what you said about Boyd here, about the arm. Could it potentially be Abby's? Ooh, that's interesting. Now, when I first saw it, I just thought, I mean, he's on the ground. We know the caves are right beneath them. So my initial thought was it's probably just a monster. But this could be very interesting if it is maybe Abby. I think that's a really good idea. I'm trying to get a good look at the hand, but it doesn't, I mean, it's hard to tell, but it doesn't look like it's got like all those crazy veins and claws like some of our, like our From monsters do. So it does kind of look a little bit more like a human hand more than a monster hand. Like it doesn't have the claws. It doesn't have all those dark black veins. It looks like a human hand. So yeah, my initial thought was this was a monster at first, but now, taking a closer look at it, I'm not so sure if it is. So the idea of it potentially being Abby and a vision that Boyd is having is very plausible.
You know what, Robert and Jeremy, great attention to detail. I was about to say, I do see that it's a little dirty. It looks like it would be one of the monsters. However, we know that the monsters are notorious for their fingernails. And this one doesn't have exactly.
Those dark, thick veins they have. Yeah.
It doesn't have it, so it must be a vision. Now, we know that Boyd has been having those visions of Abby and Father Cottrey. The skin tone doesn't reflect Father Cottrey, so it must be the only other vision that he's had, Abby.
And what looks interesting here is we see Boyd looking down, almost like he's looking at his arm or his hand. Could this potentially be happening when Boyd is having a little bit of a Parkinson's flare up and he's trying to stop his hand from shaking, and boom, this happens right at the same time? Because it just looks like he's kind of looking down at his arm there. And we know that Boyd tends to look at his hands a lot when they start to shake because of the Parkinson's. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's maybe what's going on here. We're seeing Boyd kind of trying to stop his hand from shaking due to the Parkinson's, and then boom, he has this vision of something grabbing him. So no, I like the idea of it potentially being a vision scene and that it's maybe Abby's hand. That's interesting.
I like what Everything Broke Down is saying here in the chat. They are stressing Boyd the fuck out. Yes, they are. I mean, at this point, you have to wonder, is it really that he has Parkinson's? Or is it that everybody is so problematic that just like, I mean, iconic, right? When he goes to meet the Matthews, he goes into the bathroom, gathers himself, and then just screams. Because I mean, and that was before everything got started. Now things are even heavier. So he might mentally just be totally well, no Parkinson's and all, but it's just the stress of the town, the people of the town. Everybody's a problem for him.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, it's Eloise. It says in on who knows. I mean, who knows? Maybe it is Eloise. And yeah, I mean, it is during the day, so you wouldn't really expect the monsters to be reaching out of the caves during the day, you know. So that another
Um,
indication that's probably not a monster. And again, yeah, no claws, no veins. It looks more human for sure. All right, let's see what else we got. Anyone have any images of her grave site on hand for comparison? Yeah, I'll have to. I mean, she has a. Well, it looks like Boyd is sitting by a rock here. This looks like to be a rock. And from what I remember in season one, Abby's grave was a wooden cross, I believe. I believe it was a wooden cross stuck into the ground that Boyd would go and visit out in the field. So it doesn't look like it is her gravesite, unless he's changed the headstone to some kind of rock, maybe, or this is the rocks that Father Cautry's bag was buried at. We know that there was that rock formation out in that field. I mean, just based on the grass, you look at the grass, the color of the grass, it looks like that same color grass that was in that field where the rocks had that rock formation where Father Cautry buried the bag. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's in that area, just based on the little bit of the surrounding that we see.
And the grass, I think it's a good giveaway of that. But the lighting, you guys are so intelligent. I'm telling you, it wouldn't be a monster because they don't come out during the day. That's a great point. I totally agree. It
Mhm.
has to be Abby. It has to be him having a vision and also seeing, if it's not the Parkinson's, we do know that he was having the worms. So we don't know if that's
A worm flare
completely
up.
gone. Maybe, right? We
Who
don't know if
knows?
that's
We don't know
completely
what those
gone.
things were. These ancient foreign parasitic supernatural worms. We don't exactly know how they work. Who knows what they could have left in Boyd's body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Abby. So Robert, now that we have established that that might be the answer, why do you think that Abby would be showing up? Is she showing up as a helper, or is she showing up as somebody that is just going to mess with Boyd even further?
Mm,
Because we have seen both of those things with Abby. She has told him, "Hey, let's kill everybody and then we could like leave." So that's not a great advice. But then
yeah,
she has said, I think that we're in a coma, and then she says, "I take it back. These things, you were
yep.
right."
Tell Boyd I
So
was wrong. Yeah.
she keeps going back and forth. Why would Abby be there? What is her purpose? Is it to kind of upset Boyd? Is she like Father Cautry? Is she a positive entity or a negative one? Now, I
Yeah.
did have an idea, you guys, when I was looking at the Sophia picture.
Mhm.
Sophia seems to be very religious, okay?
Yeah.
This prayer, this photo emphasizes that she prays with heart. She like puts her whole into it. I mean, that is a great depiction of somebody who is genuinely believing what they are praying on. And if I'm going to start my theory now, my theory is cult. One of my theories is going to be that in season 4, we're going to have a cult. She is very religious. She would feel most comfortable at church. Who lives in the church? Sarah. Sarah was also very sheltered and religious.
Mm.
Who else is religious? Elgin. Elgin was also super religious and felt comfort in a church. So there we go. We have our 3 members that
Mhm.
are all very similar in the way that they are a little bit shy, a little bit reserved, but religious, and they mean well. Those 3 are going to gather because they're living in the church currently. Sarah's living in the church. Elgin is not going to be welcome at Colony House after what he did. People are going to be wary of him, and he's going to become another Sarah. So
Mm.
he's going to move in with Sarah at the church. We're going to have Sophia, who finds comfort visiting the church, and the 3 of them are our first cult members.
It may be. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I get the feeling part of me gets the feeling Elgin is going to completely shy away and shun religion after he realizes how it misled him and how it led him down the path to nearly killing Fatima. It was his blind faith that led him to doing what he did. I get the feeling once Elgin realizes what he really did, I wouldn't be surprised if he turns from his faith entirely and just completely drops it. Something like that could be the kind of act that gets someone to lose faith in the higher power that they believed in that led them to do this heinous thing. So I'm not so sure Elgin would be swayed into some kind of religious faction, and Sarah either for that. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Sarah's just too smart for that. Like Sarah's like
Ah,
super smart. Like she really knows
well,
how the world works. She knows how people are. I don't know. I suppose I could see it, but part of me thinks like Sarah is like too smart to ever be manipulated into any kind of thing like that again.
okay, well, let's look at that. What happens when you believe in something so deeply like religion and your God of sorts fails you? Yes, some people would take that as a lesson and say, I'm going to turn away from religion. This was not a good choice. But other people, just like in the Bone Temple, the Jimmy, other people who are religious, that's something that's ingrained in you. The belief in this higher power or in this God, that even though you thought it was God's angel that was telling you to do something bad to Fatima, what would happen oftentimes, not only would they turn away, but they could go the other way where they are so sorry for what they have done and the fact that they confuse God with Satan, quote unquote, the negative entity, that
Mhm.
they would become more religious. They would want more forgiveness. They would then double
Possibility too.
down on their religion
Possibility.
for
Yeah.
having done something so bad. They would repent 5 times more and they would
Mhm.
punish themselves by now being even more religious and wanting to do things correctly. Now, Sarah, even though you make a great point, she is a very intelligent person. She talks about the soul. She wanted to save Boyd's soul, and therefore
But
she
she
took it
already
upon
feel
herself
and she
because
but she
she
feels
was
like hers is
condemned.
already damned. Yeah.
Exactly. So if somebody has the theology of my soul being condemned, everybody looks for forgiveness. So this would be a great way if she carries around with her the idea that her soul has been condemned. The way to continue to live or to find purpose is by trying to do the right thing, becoming more religious, repenting, um, asking for forgiveness. So you would full on go into religion, right? If you feel condemned. Ask for forgiveness. After
Maybe.
all,
Maybe.
if you believe in the soul, that is theology of a religious faction.
Mm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, which way Elgin and Sarah go, I guess, in season 4 in terms of, faiths and belief systems and what kind of influence Sophia will have when she gets into the town. Will she be able to convert anybody, for lack of better terms? Who is Sophia? Asks Dash. This is Sophia right here. She is the newest cast member that has been added to from season 4. We don't know a whole lot about her yet, other than that she is the daughter of a pastor, and she is very deeply religious, as we see her here. Looks like this is after she's already in From. We see some cuts on her face, little scratches. We see some blood on her clothes, and she's clearly in Christie's medical clinic. So I imagine this is probably not long after she arrives in Fromville, and she's probably still in a state of shock, praying for, answers, I imagine. But yeah, she'll be an interesting character. She'll be an interesting character for sure. All right, let's go from start to finish. It starts off. Actually, I'll play it one more time just in case anyone hasn't seen it yet. The teaser trailer is out. It wasn't a full-on trailer, but it was a nice little 30-second teaser to give us a little snippet of what we can expect in season 4.
Mom,
If we push too hard, something will push back.
What happens next is my favorite part.
Mm, there it is, folks. There it is. Nice little snippet. Now we start off with Boyd coming out of Colony House, grabbing his binoculars and looking down. I wonder what he's looking at here. Could this potentially be Boyd looking down the street and seeing maybe Jade bringing Jim's body back to town?
I would say no. And the
No?
reason why is because Boyd, if that is the same day and Jade is bringing the body back to town, Boyd is currently in the caves. He is in a bind right now. He needs to get out of that. And I don't think that it's going to be an easy,
What, getting
thing.
out of the caves? Oh,
He has
maybe.
to get out. Right now, he's currently with all the monsters and they turn around and they saw him.
Well, we
So
don't
he's
know if
going
they
to,
saw him. I
I
feel
mean,
like that's still, we're not
Smiley kind of turned
100%
around.
sure. I mean, Smiley kind of turns in the direction, but Boyd kind of stands there like he's not really worried, and that kind of
Yeah.
indicated to me that they didn't see him yet.
Yeah. So maybe they didn't see him, but still, he's in the caves. He doesn't have his jacket on. He would have to get out of the caves, deal with Fatima, Ellis, deal with Elgin, put his jacket back on, and then come out in time for that to happen. And
Yeah,
everything
I
is
think that's
happening so
easily.
quickly.
I don't know. I think that's easily plausible. I feel like because they're not going to just rush Jim's body right back to town. I mean, Tabitha is going to discover it. We're probably going to have that scene between her and the man in yellow, and then you have to bring the body back to town, which is going to take a while. There are deep ways into the woods where the RV is, so that takes a little while to get back to town. I don't know. I feel like it's easily plausible that Boyd could already be out of the caves by then. But you do bring up a good point. He is in the caves. And we did see that one little behind the scenes snippet that looks like Kenny enters the caves at one point too. And I imagine it's probably like, and we talked about this before, but I imagine it's going to start where Kenny's going to be wondering where Boyd is, and he's going to get to the point where he's worried that Boyd hasn't come back yet. So Kenny's probably going to go in those caves after Boyd and get Boyd out of there. That's what I'm guessing anyway. I mean, that's why I'm imagining we saw that behind the scenes snippet of Kenny and Boyd down there on the cave set. But no, that is a good point. Boyd is down in the cave, so could he potentially get out and be done with that in time for them to bring Jim's body back? I think he could, but it is a
Yeah.
good point.
What I think is happening, my theory about this specific shot, you told us, right? You pointed out to us that they tend to give us all scenes from the first episodes.
Usually the
They
first
don't,
3 or 4 episodes, the trailers are cut from. Yeah.
that is their pattern.
Yeah.
So we know that first episode is labeled Arrival. What I believe that he's looking at is the arrival of
Sophia
Sophia and
arriving.
the
So
family.
maybe she doesn't arrive at night. Yeah, maybe she arrives, or maybe this is like a dusk
Like
scene where sun is
dusk.
just starting to go down. Yeah, because it looks like dusk. It looks like sun is setting here just based on the lighting.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. It looks
I
like
can
the
see
sun
that.
is setting. He's looking from Colony House. It's a long way to the entrance of town. He would need
Yeah,
his binoculars to be able
yeah,
to look at the entrance of the town, right?
definitely, definitely.
So I believe that he's looking at, this is the episode 1, Arrival.
And this
He's
is
looking at
Sophia
Sophia and
arriving.
the family arrive and the
Yeah,
chaos that's about to ensue. However, Sophia gets those scratches and blood on her.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that could be a very interesting scene where she arrives just as the sun is start to set, because that's kind of how Boyd arrived himself. When Boyd got into town, it was still a little bit light out, but the sun was coming down, and you could start to hear the monsters screeching in the background. And Father Cautry just gets him out of the car in time. So that could be a very interesting kind of parallel to how Boyd enters the town as well. If she enters not, and because we already saw a nighttime entrance. I feel like the show's already done that. They did that in season 3. We saw the ambulance arrive in the town at night, and we saw the chaos, how much chaos that can bring when you have a night arrival and from. So I feel like they've already done that. So yeah, it would maybe make a little more sense to have her arrive at dusk, just when the sun is starting to set, and then it's a race to kind of get everybody safe. Because you have to imagine, when someone enters this town, now Boyd has to run down there, wrangle them up, some way try to convince them that there's monsters coming to kill them pretty soon, and that these talismans are the only thing that are going to keep you safe. So there's a lot of work that goes into keeping someone safe, keeping new arrivals safe when they land in Fromville. And that's a big, and that all lands on Boyd. But we got David Riley for 199 again. Thank you so much, David. Very much appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Robert Saunders says Boyd is looking at the pool where Sarah is standing for $2. Says Robert. I suppose that's a possibility as well. Yeah, I mean, I like the Sophia idea. I like the idea that he's watching Sophia arrive in town. I feel like that's I like that one. But no, but him potentially, looking at Sarah at the pool is also a possibility as well, because we do have that shot up next of Sarah and it looks like a lot of other people gathered at what looks to be the pool area, just based on the fence and everything. Yeah, what are they looking at here? I mean, I have to imagine they're not looking at Dale. I mean, they already saw Dale, the eternal pool boy. Donna already bricked him up. He's gone. So what exactly are they looking at here? Because it looks like the whole town is gathered and there's a little bit of a look of worry on their faces. Is this just a simple new arrival, or what exactly are they looking at here? Because there's some concern on Sarah's face here, it looks like.
I mean, Robert, I think that that's a great theory. When I'm thinking about what can he see, I'm picturing a map of the town, and could he, Boyd, see the pool with binoculars? It's a straight down sort of hill, so I don't know that he could see inside.
Yeah, could he see the
Is
pool? I
inside.
was
I
wondering
think
that
he can see
too.
the entrance of town, but the pool is this way. He's in Colony House this way.
The
But
buildings
I
might
like
be
the idea.
blocking his view. Yeah, some of the buildings
Exactly.
might
There's a house.
obstruct his view. Yeah.
Um, but what is happening in the pool? Yes, Dale has been bricked up, so they're not looking at Dale. They
Yeah.
look almost like resigned to the fact that something has happened. So they don't look shocked as in like, oh my God, it's currently happening. They
It's more
look
like a
like
concern, like an
this has
act.
already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we saw, like this is concerning what we're looking at here, but it's something that already happened, maybe. Yeah. Kind of
And
get
she's
that
wearing
vibe.
different clothes from her
She
torture
is.
clothes. She's not
Well, I
wearing her
mean,
torture clothes.
she was covered in Elgin's blood, so she had to change, I suppose. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. Let us know. The monsters will probably let him go if they see him. Screw with him a little bit first. Seems like Boyd is off limits. Yeah, I mean, I imagine they will probably continue that theme throughout season 4 as well, with the monsters not killing Boyd, but doing everything they can to break him. Maybe they start targeting Ellis or Fatima or Donna or Kenny, people a little closer to him than even Tian Chen was. So yeah, definitely, I imagine they're going to continue the theme of Boyd being broken. Yeah, nighttime arrivals are like cheating. No warning, no time to acclimate. You're in, it's over. It is. It's like a cheat code for the monsters. They instantly win every time. Monsters always win. Yeah, arriving at night is the worst. The strange bit would be if Sophia arrived from outside of the USA. Yes, the first Canadian, and she's dropping oots and oots and ahs left and right. I mean, that would be pretty interesting. Just as far as we know, everyone that has landed here in Fromville has arrived here from the continental United States. So yeah, we haven't seen anybody from outside the states land in Fromville yet. Could Sophia be the first? I don't know. Don't know. Yeah, I can't believe season 4 is a couple months away. It is. It is so close. It is so close. So close. Does it matter anymore? The man in yellow wears yellow because he shows up when the sun is shining. Maybe that's it. Maybe that was it the whole time. The man in yellow wears yellow because he just wants to see the sunshine. Is Sophia a replacement for someone? Wouldn't they replace everyone that dies, like the bus? Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. We saw that trend kind of start throughout like the first 3 seasons, where when someone would die in Fromville, a new character would arrive to kind of take their place, almost like they're always constantly maintaining like a certain number within Fromville. But if we remember, we did lose some characters in season 3. And then we did have some new characters returning. Well, one new character returning in Henry. So yeah, Sophia, I mean, could she be replacing anyone? Could she be replacing Jim? We did just lose Jim at the end of season 3. Could Sophia be the result of that? Maybe. I don't know.
I think she's more fitting for Father Cotry. It's just more
No, I
fitting
think
that
they
it
were
would be
meant.
Father Kotri.
No, I think they meant more in terms of like whenever a character dies,
Number?
another character gets brought in there, just pure numbers wise. Maybe now that Jim's dead, this is why Sophia's arriving. But yeah, her story, I think, like character wise, she parallels Katri. I think you're right, definitely.
Yeah. I don't believe that it's a numbers thing. I think it's a very
I'm
compelling
not sure,
argument. I've seen people count the numbers of characters and teams
and
and
it's been like
with
exact
colors.
almost. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it could just be a coincidence at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it's who's more fitting for the role, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
because when it comes to the bus arrival last season, we were all talking when the bus arrived. Oh my God, that is very, what a coincidence would have
mhm.
to happen in the world for everybody that is needed, like Marielle being Christie's fiance, Elgin and Bagda having known the melody or the nursery rhyme, Tilly, them all being in one bus. That's like a huge coincidence that they all got the same bus and they were who was needed. So I don't know if it's a numbers thing, but yeah, I have seen that, and it is a compelling argument.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting when you kind of look at the numbers, I guess. But Anon says maybe Dale was resurrected. The stones are moved and his body just disappeared, like the Jesus mythology. I mean, that would be very interesting. I mean, with them adding, not adding, but I imagine with season 4 having a little bit of a heavier, you know, symbolic undertone with Sophia arriving, with her character being super religious. I wouldn't be surprised if season 4 has some of those themes kind of woven in throughout it, maybe. But no, that'd be pretty interesting if Dale just kind of gets fucking resurrected, like Lazarus or like Jesus. That'd be crazy.
Well,
I'm not expecting it, but it would be pretty funny if nothing else. Yeah,
eh,
Dale rises up. Yeah, Dale is practically Jesus.
Martin and Anon, if there is somebody in Fromville that you don't want to have the power of resurrection and the power of somebody believing in them, it would be Dale. Can you imagine the type of religious leader he would make? I
Mm,
mean,
yeah.
Jesus was all about like forgiveness and like loving your neighbor. And the last thing that Dale did was love his neighbor. He complained about everybody he lived there. All of his roommates suck. He stabbed one of them,
Stabbed one of
right?
them.
He
Yeah,
was nasty to Alice, saying some of the cruelest things ever.
right. Yeah, yeah, it's a good point. Good point. Not very, not Jesus material, you would
No.
think. The hand is Martin, Fear Gorta, who is a fae, dwells in grass. Ooh, interesting. The hand potentially being Martin's, the hand that grabs Boyd, that reaches out from the ground and grabs Boyd. Interesting.
We have seen
Interesting.
Martin's hand, though,
Yeah,
guys. We've seen
yeah,
his hand, and his fingernails and his hands
yeah.
were look like a
You're a
monster. So that
wreck.
is not
You're a
Martin.
wreck. Yeah, he's a mess. Those nails are longer than the monsters. But I do wonder, are we going to see Martin in season 4? What kind of role is Martin? Because there's still so much about the character of Martin that we just don't know. There's so much about him we don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it does get revealed that he is a story walker like Julie. That would explain a lot of how he knows the things he knows. I mean, right from season 2, when we first see Martin, right away we get that we get the writers are letting us know that this character knows more than he should. The fact that he knew about Boyd's wife and the specific thing that she said to him about her being right. So Martin is still a huge question mark in terms of who he is, who put him in there. I think we're going to find out in season 4 that the man in yellow is the one who captured Martin and put him in that place. That's just a theory. And I do get the feeling it's because Martin is also a story walker. I mean, it would just fit and it would
Yeah.
just explain some of the things that why Martin knows some of the things that he knows and why he's valuable enough to lock up in a place like that.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love that theory. I haven't heard that one, Jeremy. That's new. Or I guess like it's an evolving theory that you've had about the story walker, but I like the argument of you would only lock him up in a way where he cannot go anywhere because he is capable of going to places that
Anyway,
might hurt your game, right?
exactly.
He
Yeah.
might be able to get away into a different time period. Therefore, you need to lock him up so that he doesn't get away from you. So I like that. Now, if we continue with that idea, there are bodies. We see that there are chains and previous bodies, depictions of bodies that have been there, and they're just skeletons. So
Yeah,
then that would emphasize the idea that there's other story walkers, that this is something that Man in Yellow
exactly.
does. He gathers you, and Julie might be, now we need to worry about her.
Is
She
Julie going to be back?
might be
No.
the next one to be
Yeah.
taking Martin's place.
Yeah. Because when she was in there, Martin was telling her to hurry up and get out of here.
Exactly.
You know?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I think it's just a guess, but I think that's what will get revealed at some point in this season or the next, that it was the Man in Yellow that captured Martin and locked him up in there because he was a story walker. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We shall find out. Who knows? Maybe it's something totally different. Could be. Could very be. But yeah, the trailer is definitely very vague, almost like they didn't want anything slipping out. I already want to fight the Man in Yellow. Yeah, I mean, whenever they put out just the 30-second teasers, it's always intentionally vague. They're not going to give us a whole lot. But again, I imagine a month and a half from now, the latest, we'll probably get another full 2-minute trailer before the show gets here in April. But yeah, this is just the first snippet. And again, you can tell it's definitely a bit of a rough cut. This is not the finished version. When looking at the trailer, there are, some cinematography issues and some lighting issues. Like, you can tell this is not the finished, polished version of the show. They're still doing post-production. But you can tell that they whipped this together so we could have a teaser. But definitely not the finished version. But
Well,
yeah.
on that note of, you guys are hilarious, wanting to fight the Man in Yellow, I think that we are getting very valuable information, guys. So in the finale, we could assume that he was a bad guy because he comes in, he kills somebody. That's a bad guy. But we didn't know. We were not sure, right? Even Doug, the actor, said, maybe he's not. Maybe he's misunderstood. Maybe this. But you could tell a lot about a character by the voice that is chosen to represent the character. We
Mhm.
get to hear his voice. This is the reason why last night in the live I said I don't think that they would give us his voice, because when you hear somebody's tone of voice, you could tell if they're going to be a good guy or a bad guy, more than
Sometimes you can
likely.
tell. Yeah.
More than likely. And they gave us his voice. That voice is the voice of definitely the antagonist in the series. That is
Sounds
the
like it.
antagonist. Out of everybody in the show, we don't have even the monsters who possess a voice of that manner.
Yeah.
Even the
Yeah.
monsters speak like regular people. He
They do.
is definitely the antagonist. And then
Yes.
giving us that voice, I believe, I take it as confirmation. This is our big bad. We're looking for the big bad. He's fitting the bill.
He's fitting the bill. I mean, when you look at, he's checking all the boxes, if nothing else. At the very least, he does. For all the he fits the category for a big bad on a show like this. But we got Cassie and some other new arrivals showing up. What is up, Cassie? What is up, Star? Good to see you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, the trailer is out. I'll play it again. I'll play it one more time. For anyone who maybe hasn't seen it, or just because, hell, why not? Let's just play it again. But yes, the teaser trailer is out, and we are diving into it as we speak. Here it is.
Mom,
If we push too hard, something will push back.
What happens next is my favorite part.
Oof. There it is, folks. There it is. April 19th from season 4 is coming. Again, didn't reveal a whole lot, but we got some nice snippets that can definitely keep us going until we get the full trailer, which I imagine is probably going to come around a month and a half from now. But yeah, here we go, folks. All right, another thing I wanted to talk about was Victor. Now we get this really great scene between Victor and his father. Let's see, where was it? Here it is. And we see Victor is just incredibly distraught, like just a complete mess. What do we think is happening in this scene? Henry's clearly trying to console him. What exactly is going on here, and could this potentially in some way have to do with Eloise?
Mm. I do not believe that it has anything to do with Eloise. I think if we're gonna see Eloise, she's gonna be a reveal. She's a very fitting person for the title of the episode that comes towards the end of what a long journey it's been, right?
Yeah,
I don't think, and I do believe that these are all scenes from the first, second episode.
I'm hoping
This,
they are. Yeah.
yeah, this is Victor just completely devastated by a tree. We know that he wanted to cut down a tree, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm wondering, is he going out there and trying to cut down a tree, and his father is going out there into the woods and saying that he's so distraught because he wants to stop the cycle? Is he maybe finding out that his mom is back and that his mom is Tabitha? Because that would be enough to collapse a person that is so
Mhm.
traumatized like Victor, of like, what the hell is happening? Like, my mom, like, now I have to talk about the one thing I don't want to talk about, how my mom died, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, and he could be having another memory. Could be another memory returning to him. We know Victor's memory is notoriously, unreliable, and he tends to kind of have these big revelations where he'll remember something absolutely massive every once in a while. Like in season one, he has the memory and finally remembers the massacre for the first time. In season two, we see him remember that he had a sister. So yeah, could this be the reaction of him remembering something else and his father's trying to console him? Maybe could be something like that. But yeah, this is a fun one. I mean, and I just love Scott McCord. He's just such a
Mhm.
good actor. Every time I see this guy on screen, he never fails to impress me, and no matter what scene he's doing. The guy's just a phenomenal actor to be able to cultivate and kind of put together a role like this. This is not an easy role to play for an actor. This kind of kid trapped in an adult's body, super traumatic, ton of trauma to deal with. Like there's a lot of weight there, and he portrays it incredibly well. We got Robert Saunders for $10. Thank you so much, Robert, for the 10. Very much appreciate you, my friend. Is knowledge comes at a cost painted on the spot in the barn where Tien Chen died. Behind the scenes photo shows Ellis painting "Help Us" on the barn door, and tinfoil hat says maybe he painted the new message. That's an I my initial thought was it probably is in the barn. Let's take another look at it. It looks like this is most likely the barn. If I had to guess, yes, this is probably the barn where Tien Chen met her tragic end. Either that, or it could be a new location entirely, but I doubt that. If I had to guess, it's most likely the barn. Knowledge comes at a cost. What's very interesting is it seems like okay, this is a little weird. This is a little weird. Notice what do we notice about this? Every single time we see these letters, it's always in the same spot. Look at this crate.
Oh, okay.
Look at this wall.
Hmm.
Every single one is literally the exact same place. Crate, wall. Knowledge. How is it? Almost like it's not really there. Like it's one at a time. Knowledge comes at a cost. It's the same part of the wall in every shot, with right in front of that crate, yet it changes. Something super trippy going on there. Probably some kind of vision, if I had to guess.
Once again, I am amazed, Jeremy Eisenfire. It's not real. It's not real. It's probably a vision that somebody has, because you wouldn't be able to remove and then paint it again.
No, not
So
like yeah.
it's, yeah, absolutely impressed. I think, yeah, it's probably something that either Tabitha or Jade is seeing. Men in Yellow gives that line to Jim. The people that are closer to that scenario would be Tabitha and Jade.
Mhm.
They gathered new knowledge.
Yeah.
Jim had to die for it, but now they have to also get the message of knowledge comes at a cost. You
Mhm.
just unlocked a new um, pathway for yourself. You just unlocked these new tools. Now you have memories of the previous version of you. Knowledge comes at a cost. They are the ones that are more fitting. So maybe they are seeing this message and it's just a hallucination.
Could be. It could very well be. And I also thought, and Fromaholic Fletcher beat me to it, but what also came to mind was, yeah, this could maybe just be specifically for the trailer. Just a tagline that is in the trailer only, just to have knowledge comes at a cost in the trailer somewhere, and it might not be in the actual episode. So that's also a possibility as well. Or yeah, it's a vision. One of the two, I would imagine, for sure. We got Taryn for 2. What is up, Taryn? Thank you so much, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Knowledge, another owl clue, one of many. KN Owl Edge. Ooh, yeah. Another
Yeah.
owl clue. That is very interesting how there is a lot of, I mean, we got Elgin kind of crocheting all these owls. Like, what is it with owls and crows in From? Why are they so prominent all over the place?
Well, Taryn, if you could please, so love it, another owl clue. But Taryn, can you please tell us in the chat what connects owls to From? Like, I know that owls, they are symbolism for a couple of things, and one of them is being intelligence, knowledge. So could it be that
Yep.
the owl factor symbolism of the owl is exactly that, knowledge? You are getting this information, you're unlocking this new information. It's coming at a cost. Could that be the symbolism? But I want to know more about Terrence's idea of what owls connect to From, and in what way.
It will, and one thing they also represent is usually like a heightened perception of things, having a heightened perception that most people don't have. And I think that is very specific to characters like Jade and Tabitha, the ones that are having visions, the one that have these extrasensory perceptions to them. So it could be a, symbolic of that too as well. But Taryn says, my connection, it's a connection to Lilith from the Bible. I believe it all starts there. Her mythology is deeply connected to owls. I mean, it does look like the, religious mythology is probably going to be woven into season 4, just based on Sophia's character alone, the kind of character that she is, deeply religious character. She's brought the first Bible into Fromville that we've ever seen. So I wouldn't be surprised, I guess, if we have a little bit of a religious undertone to some of the themes in season 4. Owls are wise and all-seeing, and that's another thing, the all-seeing eye of an owl, very similar to the man in yellow. The man in yellow clearly kind of sees everything that's going on. He knows everything that's going on at all times. So it could also be a little representation of that as well. Absolutely. Sophia means wise or wisdom. Ooh, interesting. Does it? That I did not know. That one I did not know. Elgin is the only person who spoke of an owl. Yeah, Elgin he spoke of an owl. He crocheted all these owls a ton of times. But we'll see. We shall see. Scott McCord references Victor's connection to the owls in interviews. There's owl drawings, and Elgin mentions knitting owls. Yeah, we get a few different instances of the owls kind of either being represented on the show or spoken about on the show. Scott also does orange drawings of owls all the time on Instagram and from events. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, so maybe there's a little something more to the owls. I mean, it could be one of those things that it just means something to Scott McCord, the actor, or it very well could be that it means something deeper to the story as well. Either or both, maybe. Victor also has a lot of spider drawings, and there's tons of references to spiders. Spiders, owls, crows, cicadas. Yeah, we get a lot of creepy critters, don't we? A lot of, worms, creepy worms coming out of Boyd's arm, the creepy worms coming out of the freaking ballerina. We get a lot of creepy crawlers in From, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And the rats, we still need to see if they play a part in telling Men in Yellow about what's going on in town. I know that one of the theories that we had in
Yeah.
the previous seasons was that the crows gather information during the day to tell the monsters what's happening in town. That's how they know all of the names and all of the information. Now that we have the man in yellow, and he does seem to be a fourth dimensional being that can see everything that's happening and hear whatever is happening and give you phone calls, right?
Mm.
Or talk to you through the radio. I think that there's no need for the crows to be the carriers of this
Yeah,
information. He probably can see it all, and so can Boy in White, for that
I
matter.
think so. I think so. I think you're right. I don't think that at this point, I don't think they need crows as a surveillance system. They clearly are already seeing the events unfold in some other kind of way. But yeah, let's not forget Sophia was one of the aeons of divine. She is the embodiment of divine wisdom. Yeah, I didn't know that earlier. Someone in the chat earlier said that as well. That the name Sophia roughly translates to wise or wisdom. So that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what kind of role she plays and how wise she really is at the end of the day. How wise is she going to be? Did you see Victor's big drawing in the peach truck? There is an outline of both of the crow and the rat in the road markings. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing we're going to have to revisit. 100,000,000%. We're going to have to revisit the peach truck drawings. Now that we do have a little something else to dissect, we're definitely going to have to go back to those drawings and see what else we can see and see if we can correlate anything in this trailer to stuff that's on the peach truck, because that peach truck is an absolute gold mine worth of stuff in terms of all those drawings. So no, that's a good idea, Taryn. We definitely need to go back and maybe re-dissect that for sure. She's Sophie or Sophia. Sophia is her name, I believe. I believe the character's name is Sophia with an A, not Sophie. Rat King, Man in Yellow, Spider King, Unknown, Cicada Queen, Ballerina, Owl King, Boy in White. Yeah, they all representations of deities, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Sophia equals creation. Interesting. Very interesting. In my Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse theory, season 1 was death, season 2 was pestilence, season 3 famine, and season 4 will be war. Ooh, interesting. Then what happens in season 5? What's season 5 then? No, I like that though, Debbie. I like that. That's a very interesting one. I mean, if season 1 was death. I could see that. I could see season 1 being death, with death being a huge representation of that first season, whether it's the very first episode, seeing Megan and her mother get just absolutely killed, whether it's Father Cautry's death, whether it's the death of Boyd's wife. Death is a huge theme in the first season, so I could definitely see that. Pestilence in season 2 very much fits the theme of season 2 to a T. We got the cicadas and worms and stuff flying all over the place. So season 2 could very much fit the theme of pestilence. Season 3, famine. We are definitely, you're onto something here, Debbie. I love this. Season 3 was very much a famine representation as well. One of the biggest problems they had at the beginning of season 3 was the food shortage, and Fatima chomping on dead and rotten freaking food. Famine was very much a theme of season 3. And I definitely think season 4 is going to be their darkest season yet. This is going to be, and I've said this for a while, this is going to be their darkest season yet. This is going to be the moment where things get completely low. Rock bottom will come in season 4. And that could very well be the war part of it. So I love that, Debbie. I think that's an awesome way to look at these 4 seasons.
Debbie, Abby, Baby, I love that theory. I absolutely love
awesome.
that theory.
I like it.
I think it's amazing. I think it's very fitting, very creative. And I would like to add that in season 4, that being the war that we're going to see in From, not only does it fit for the men in yellow,
Boyd and Acosta.
Boy in Acosta, the men in yellow, and Boy in White, right?
Yep.
But also, one of my favorite scenes in the finale, season 3 finale, is the Boy in White's change, the tone of change in the Boy in White. The Boy in White was very childlike. He was a helper, but his demeanor was not that of a very strong person. It was playful. Now, in the finale, Debbie, Baby, he takes a change of tone that he looks like the general of a army, Like he looks, not only does he stand very much like firm, he speaks to Victor in a way where he's saying, "You're changing too."
Yeah.
He's sick of everything. He has his little hands balled up in a fist. And when he turns, he doesn't turn like a normal, regular boy that's walking away. He turns like a general. He gives you an army, a military turn where he lifts his little foot and he turns and he walks away. So it was very much giving the tone of, I'm about to lead my army into war. Like this is starting. It's now. Like this is the part that we need to fight against the men in yellow, right? Like he was busy or preoccupied with something else, and Victor was on his shit. You know how Victor is always doing the most. And he just had that demeanor of, I have things to take care of.
Yeah.
I'm not messing with you anymore.
Yeah.
And the way that he turned, if you look at that scene, it's one of my favorite scenes. He gives you a military turn of a general who's about to lead his army into battle. And I just love that.
No, I do too. That's it's definitely a very interesting way to look at it because you're right. Like the boy in white, his whole demeanor is so different in season 3 compared to previous seasons. He was very childish, like, and he does seem like he is growing up now. And we do hear him at least address it, where Victor straight up tells him, "You look different. You look different now." You know, everything's changing here, the boy in white says. Everything's changing, himself included. So yeah, I think that makes sense that we're going to see him mature a little bit and not maybe be super childlike like he was in that first season. No, I like that. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see what can you check the name of the new character, Sophia? It's Sophia with an A. The new character's name is Sophia with an A, not Sophie. That I have checked before in the past. It is definitely Sophia with an A. There also appears to be an owl on the stump. Okay, another example maybe of the owls. Awesome. There's a picture of a little boy releasing an orange owl from a box or basket. Interesting. That one I have not seen. Yeah, the trailer teaser was short but sweet. And again, this is just the first teaser trailer. I mean, I imagine we're probably going to get a full 2-minute trailer, probably a month and a half from now. This is just the first teaser trailer. And I'm kind of glad that they're doing it this way. As much as I would love to dive headfirst into a full-on 2-3 minute trailer right away, I don't mind them giving us just a little snippet at first, a little appetizer, a little from season 4 appetizer before the main course comes in April. But again, I think we'll get a much longer trailer, probably at the end of the month or next month. This won't be the only one. This will not be the only one. Yeah, Ethan probably looks 15 now. He does. Ethan looks ginormous now. He looks like he's going to be heading to the bar with Jade at the end of the day and pounding some back.
Yeah, but once again, Howdy. Yes, but this is the part where I am willing to work with them. I am willing to suspend my disbelief as long as they don't switch up our Ethan, because I would be traumatized at this point. I would be traumatized if we open and another child is suddenly Ethan and we have to accept him as our new Ethan. I couldn't do that. So I am willing to have a 22-year-old pretend he's 5 years old if I have to, so that we don't have to go through the trauma of having a new character. I really like the still, though, that we have on screen. I would like to talk about that. One of the things that I like about this still is that it's really funny to me. And From is not a funny show. The comedy is comedy that was not intentional. Levity is not there, right? But I really like that even in a place full of monsters, in a place where you're about to die, you have a horrible scar, you're going through so much, you're seeing visions, and you're psychotic, basically schizophrenic at this point. Randall still has the vanity of wearing his shirt. He's like, I'm not gonna wear my shirt like a regular shirt. He has hiked up his sleeves to show up his muscles. So I love the vanity of it all.
Yeah, I think this is him working out. I mean, we see that little workout jungle gym swing that he was doing pull-ups on in season 3. I get the feeling this is Randall in the middle of a workout session and someone's coming up and interrupting his workout. And he's turning around like what the fuck do you want?
Yeah.
Probably kind of scene. This is what
He's
I
listen, I may
yeah.
be in hell, but I'm hot. I'm
The monkey
still hot.
bars. That's it. The monkey bars. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. And yeah, the Julie we see in this trailer is the regular Julie that we know. She still has the long hair, as Fletch points out. Yeah, if Storywalker Julie is the one that takes the bracelet from the hospital on that day she's born, and she has dropped Eloise on the real world and to get adopted by the pastor, would Sophia's age align? I don't think so. No. I mean, who knows? I mean, I feel like we're getting a little too convoluted now if they start going down those kinds of routes. This is why I always get a little bit nervous of shows introducing, time travel or aspects of time travel very late in the story. It can start to get a little convoluted if they don't pull back the reins enough. While something like that does sound kind of interesting, I feel like if they start to go down these kind of routes, that gets, just for me personally, that's when it starts to get a little too convoluted in terms of the time travel and stuff like that. But that's just my personal preference.
Yeah, when you
Just my
start messing with people's age in that manner, then everything becomes a possibility. I do not like that way of story writing because I think it's a good out for the creator or the writer to do whatever he wants. And I
yeah,
think that there has to be some structure in what you're writing if you're introducing time travel. If there is no structure, then I almost get to the point where I feel like, what's the point of watching the story when you could just tell me, hey, yeah, this is Sophia and she's 50 years younger than she should be because XYZ. I don't really like that. I don't think that they would do that. They, like I said, they pay great attention to detail. It's not
mhm,
something that they have done in their previous shows. So I don't
mhm,
think that it's something that they would do here.
mm. Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. All right, let's see what else we got here. Let me scroll down. If the man in yellow was the true evil behind everything, would he be this old and worn out? And that's a good question. We need to find out why exactly the man in yellow is all worn out now. Because when we first see the man in yellow, or when we first see a representation of the man in yellow, and we see his painting in Miranda's basement in season 2, he looks younger. He's got black hair. His suit looks all fresh. Clearly something happened to the man in yellow. Something went wrong. Who knows what? We did hear in season 3, the boy in white did start to say that things are changing here now. Everything is changing here now. Maybe that could mean things are changing for the man in yellow as well. Maybe he's starting to age. But we did see, at least judging from that painting, he did look to be a lot younger at some point. So that is something that I imagine we will get answered at some point. Why exactly he looks all disheveled now.
I have an idea, you guys. I have an
Mm,
idea. Perhaps if we go with the idea that we are playing a cosmic game of sorts between Boy in White and Men in Yellow, could it potentially be that
that is the theory.
he's taking a hit, he's deteriorating?
Yeah.
Um, Boyd has said in the past, this place gives you hope and then takes away from you, right? There is a theme of them handing you some hope so that you could have hope and then they could bring you down and they could benefit from that pain, almost as if that pain that they're releasing is a benefit to them. Could it potentially be that it is through the process of playing this cosmic game that he goes through so much, right? He's not a positive entity. The other
Mhm.
thing that I wanted to talk about, guys, is a lot of people last time we were theorizing, is he the big bad or does
Yeah.
he have a
Is he
boss?
the main villain? Yeah.
Some people said
Mhm.
he works for somebody. There
Yeah.
is another figure, maybe the Red Cthulhu figure, who is the real boss, and he answers to someone. I think that now that we see a little snippet, we could kind of read into it. Do you guys believe, seeing just the snippet of how he approaches, how he talks, that he has a boss? Is he giving that vibe to you? Because the vibe that I'm getting,
No,
this
not
guy
to,
has no boss. He
no.
is the boss.
That's the vibe I got. That's the vibe I've always gotten from him from the very beginning, right? When he first showed up, I feel like it was just the perfect entrance for a main villain on a show. The way he entered the show in season 3, that is how you introduce a true villain. That's how you introduce your big bad with a bang like that. So I've always thought that he is the big villain. I think he is going to be the biggest obstacle that they're going to have to face. I just don't see him working for someone. I agree with you. I think he is the big bad. But who knows? Maybe he isn't. Who knows? Who knows? I wonder if Julie will speak with or sense her mom in another body in her story walks. Interesting. I mean, Julie getting a handle on her story walking, I imagine, is probably going to be a pretty big part of the first few episodes, with her trying to do it a little bit more, especially once she finds out that Jim's dead, that her father's dead and gone. She's going to be highly motivated to try and get this story walking thing under control, and try to get back to that moment to save him. We're going to see the beginning of our present Julie eventually become the future Julie that we saw at the end of season 3. But yeah, I mean, I suppose anything's possible when it comes to this story walking ability. And that's what's fun on one hand, and also a little bit worrisome on the other hand, because while I like some of the aspects of the story walking thing, some of the aspects of time travel just make me very weary, because time travel can get very convoluted very quick if it's not really fleshed out and written well. So I guess we'll see. I guess we shall see.
Yeah, I really like something that our friend here, Golden Child Productions, is bringing up. That's a really good observation. He is bringing up the fact that the suit of the men in yellow represents a certain time period in history, and Fromville existed long before that. We know that because we have seen people in like
Civil War,
colonial
at the
dress
very
and
least,
Civil War,
eras. Yeah.
even depictions on the cave wall that are primitive, almost as if it existed even before then, even before the society. And
Yeah.
he's wearing a suit that is very much from like the 1940s, almost like a suit is very like wide leg, right? Nothing slim fit. It's definitely not 2024. And the monsters, for that matter, if we're talking about the clothing that they're choosing for the characters,
Yeah.
this guy is ancient. That's my belief. I do not believe that he's somebody new from the 70s, 50s, or 40s. I believe that he is an ancient entity. Why they choose the style of clothes that they choose, Golden Child, is a great question. If you have any theories on that, let us know in the chat, because the monsters have also been a complete question mark. Why are they wearing 1950s clothes? We
Yeah.
know that they are not from the 1950s now. So why are they wearing 1950s clothes?
Yeah, I mean, the original timeline definitely needs to get answered in terms of how old is Fromville really? How long has this really been going on? How many cycles have there really been? I imagine we will probably get that answer this season. And that'll clarify a lot of things if Fromville is as ancient as we believe it to be, which I think it is too. From what we're seeing, we see a lot of indications that point to Fromville being very old. So yeah, I'm hoping that we get a definitive answer on that in season 4. Robert Saunders says the man in yellow in the teaser trailer does kind of look like the man in yellow in the MGM India clip you found. Can you play both back to back? Yeah, I can. I can play both back to back, and we can take a look for sure. Let's play this one first.
What happens next is my favorite part.
There's that one. And here's the India one.
I've been waiting for you to come home.
Ugh. We'll do it one more time for everybody else. We'll play it one more time, side by side. I'm still not convinced myself personally, but
What happens next is my favorite part.
I've been waiting for you to come home.
Mm-mm.
yeah, I
No.
think it's fake. I still think it's fake. I don't think it's real. And the collars look a little bit differently. If we look at the man in yellow, the man in yellow's collar here, we see it's a little bit open. We see that little bit of that V. We don't really have that on the India one. Like he moves it for a second, but then it kind of goes right back to normal. Yeah, I don't think it's legit. I think it's fake. I think it's fake.
Yeah, India, MGM India, you're still in the box. You're doubly in the box. Now you're in the box for 2 nights because that is definitely, once you put it side by side, that is AI.
Yeah.
The voice is different.
Yeah.
They used AI. The voice and the tone that they have used for Men in Yellow, you could tell. I mean, they're definitely putting some bass in there. It's spooky. It is a different voice. And the filter that they're using on that, that's definitely AI. But I will say, Robert, I think that the reason why we are having an issue here and we keep going back and forth with the AI created version of the Men in Yellow is because I'm noticing that they are using a different filter for the teaser. I hope that this filter that they're using on the teaser is not what they're using in the actual series.
It won't be.
They are heavily filtering this teaser. It's something that we're not used to seeing. From doesn't film the show in this manner, but you could tell there's a heavy filter applied. And at the end of the teaser, when we get the From, it's very much giving AI graphic design with a heavy filter overlay. So I hope that that's not a trend that carries on.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, this is definitely not the finished, polished version. I mean, they're still into post-production. They're going to polish and tinker with the color grading, the filters, everything until they get that, that standard MGM From look that all the seasons look like. So yeah, the quality that we see here in this teaser trailer is definitely not an accurate representation of what the actual show will look like. They'll polish it up a lot more between now and then, for sure. For sure. Because, yeah, there does look to be a pretty heavy filter over the trailer that they released today, for sure. For sure. But, yeah, there it is, folks. There it is. The trailer is here. I just woke up and saw the video. The part with Julia Doyle playing sure looks like there is a Bible on the table next to her. No clue if that's been talked about. Yes, Robert Saunders mentioned it earlier, and we were talking a little bit about that. But, yes, it looks like we do have our first instance of a Bible in Fromville. Here, where is it? It's right around here.
Something to push back.
Here we go. Yes, we have our first instance of a Bible in Fromville for the first time ever. So that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. Why? And it's not like it's, I have to imagine there's a reason, if nothing else. And there's a reason why Father Cautry had that line of dialogue in season 1 when he's talking to Sarah. There's a reason they went out of their way to let the audience know that there's no Bibles in Fromville. And now we see a Bible right there in the trailer. I have to imagine that's not coincidence. There's a reason for that. And hopefully we'll find it out exactly what it is.
Yeah. Now, I do see you guys in the chat talking about aliens, the Fromaholic Fletcher. And I will say this. So the Fromaholic Fletcher is saying, we haven't seen a nod to Tony Teflon's alien theory. And I will say this. We have already seen that Tony Teflon's theory of aliens is correct, in my opinion. I think we have already seen proof of that. And the reason why I say this is because aliens, I love aliens, guys. We have seen that there is aliens on the show in this manner. Okay, follow me. Stay with me.
I think your love for aliens is making you a little biased.
No. So follow me. Aliens are beings that are not of this planet. Okay, so they're not humans, not of this planet. They are 4-dimensional beings. They don't exist in the same, dimension. They're different, strange, other beings. Okay, that's an alien,
but
somebody that doesn't function.
But that's
right?
not. I don't.
The
think
Men in Yellow. The Men in Yellow is a 4th-dimensional being. The Men in Yellow
is different. The Man in Yellow is different.
He's an alien.
Monsters. We're talking about the monsters here. The monsters being aliens. And I feel like we've gotten definitive confirmation that the monsters were human and they were turned
No,
into.
no, the monsters are human. The monsters are human. But the boy in white and men in yellow are four-dimensional beings who can do things without you seeing them, can hear you without you noticing that they're in the room. I think that they squashed the Matthews house and you never saw how that happened, but they did it because they're
Mhm.
four-dimensional beings, therefore not of this world, therefore aliens.
I think that's a bit of a stretch for aliens. I get it. I get the technicality of it, but I mean, I think when people hear it's aliens, you know what they mean. They mean it's aliens from another planet, and that's not what this is. I think that's what it was mostly referring to. I mean, we can get hung up on the technicalities, I suppose, that anything not of this plane is technically extraterrestrial, but that doesn't make them aliens, in my opinion, personally.
I am
But
biased. I will admit that I have a bias because I love
you love your
aliens.
aliens.
I want to be taken by the aliens.
PM wants to be abducted by aliens. She loves
I
her aliens.
I
I've never
do. I
seen her
do.
more happy than when Three Eye Atlas was on its way.
I know. I was hoping that they would pick me up, but they didn't. They just went right past us. I think that they saw humanity and they said, "No, we're
No,
not going into that
we're waiting for
ghetto."
the next stop. Yeah, we're gonna wait for the
Yeah,
next stop.
not these ghetto people.
Oh shit! Awesome, 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 awesome. We got Nikki. Thank you so much, Nikki Panda, for 279. Thank you so much. Hashtag Spidergate, hashtag Macroverse, hashtag Pennywise. Oof. I mean, Nikki is going hard with the Spidergate. She's not giving it up. She is holding that torch for Spidergate, and I gotta say, I respect it. I respect it. I respect the commitment to Spidergate that Nikki has shown us. But yeah, I think I saw someone mention it earlier in the in the chat as well about the giant spider. Will we get some kind of giant spider? I think someone said it earlier in the chat, was asking. I still have no idea. I'm still kind of up in the air as to whether or not we're going to see a giant spider. Part of me kind of hopes we won't see a giant spider, just because I feel like the horror on From has been so good. It's been so sophisticated that I'm not sure how a giant spider is going to look next to the monsters. Like, is it going to look is it going to contrast well with some of the horror we've gotten up until this point? I suppose it could, but they would have to do it like really, really well. But I don't know. Who knows? Are we going to get a giant spider? Are we not? I'm not sure. I am not sure. A lot of people think we are, though.
I think we are, Nikki Panda. And yeah, your daddy, Jeremy, has always been behind you on that. Nikki Panda calls inside jokes, she calls him Daddy Jeremy. But I think we have to. At this point, they have shown us small spiders, a huge spider web. They have kind of shown that over and over. I think we're going to see some sort of spider. Are you going to get the giant spider? Perhaps not, but I will give you, Nikki Panda, season 4, we're gonna at least see a tiny spider somewhere in there. We're gonna see a spider, even if it's not the big spider that you are looking for.
Ooh, some spider is coming. Okay, we shall see, guys. We shall see. Is there going to be a spider in season 4? But thank you again so much, Nikki, for the 279. Very much appreciate it. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I'm late, but your intro had me wanting to dance every time that bass be knocking. It's a great intro, isn't it? I just feel like it fits the show of From so well. Absolutely well. So thank you for that. Very much appreciate that. Very much appreciate that. Let's see what else we got. Scrolling down, maybe it's that all the Fromville residents are aliens. Maybe is it resident alien has met Fromville? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. I guess we will have to find out. Maybe. Let's see what else we got. Scrolling down. Hey everyone, I'm late here. I had to go back. I had to hear Jeremy's intro song. Oh, thank you again. Love it. I love the intro song. It's really good. I think we need to see the spiders again, says Samuel. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. Will I finally get my giant spider? I know Nikki wants her spider as well. A lot of people want to see this giant spider. I guess we'll see. I guess we shall see. They have given us many, many clues to the Native American connection, which seems to me would be grandmother spider. Ooh, yeah, Shalob, Shaloub, maybe. Maybe we're going to get full on. We're going to go full on Lord of the Rings here, maybe in season 4, giant spider style. Maybe. But yeah, for sure, PM, the spiders gotta make a comeback. I'm wondering more if the giant spider is more an entity like the ballerina, not quite physical on another plane of existence, but in a town in a way. And I mean, if there is going to be some kind of giant spider, I think that would be a better version of doing it. Like not actually having a physical giant spider, but a spider-like entity representation of it. I think that would be a little more consumable and would fit a little better with what we've seen on From so far. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I will say we have so many insane people in the From community, like myself, that I'm really glad that we have people that are centered, people like Jeremy, that will keep the show in line with the sophistication of the horror that we have, because we would
Oh,
be
it's not
putting
up to
in
me.
there we would be putting in so many things that just would not be fitting and would probably ruin the show if they showed us what we
No,
wanted to see, like a
no.
giant spider would be cheesy. If the puppet had been talking, that would have kind of messed up the vibe that we have, the aesthetic of the show. So I do like that sometimes when we discuss insane theories, we are kind of brought back down to earth, and in a way, and we can focus on what we're actually seeing, because our mind can get away from us all.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while it is fun though. It's fun to kind of, you guys know what I say. Throw on that tinfoil hat, dive into that rabbit hole every once in a while, have fun with it. A show like this, you're meant to have fun with your theorizing. So yeah, as much as I want to keep my theories grounded and kind of, related to what I'm actually seeing, sometimes it's fun to just throw on that tinfoil hat and just dive into that rabbit hole and just see where it takes you with some wild From theories. But yeah, it's sometimes things are a little more simpler than they appear. But that's what's good about From. And that's what I feel like that's what is fun about the challenge about watching From, is trying to decide what to pay more attention to and what we shouldn't be paying attention to. That is the beauty of From when you're watching it, because we have heard a lot of the writers and directors talk about, how some of the stuff might not be as, foreshadowing and prophetic as we would like it to be. Jack Bender in particular had a very interesting interview where he was kind of not like shooting down a lot of that stuff, but kind of almost shooting down a lot of that stuff, saying, hey, if that's what you believe, go with God. It's kind of how he was talking about it. So I always have to kind of remind myself to kind of try to take what the show is giving me, not what I want the show to be. But then again, every once in a while, it is fun to just throw on that tinfoil hat and just come up with some wild and crazy theories. But at the end of the day, who knows? Maybe the ending is going to be simpler than we thought. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's great about shows like From.
Yeah.
When you have a show that is an amazing story like From, in itself, it's a piece of art. It's artwork. It could be a painting, a show, a poem, an idea. The interesting thing about ideas and creativity is like you can interpret whatever you want and put it in a show, but different people will look at it through their own lens and create their own meaning to what you have created. You paint a painting, they create their own meaning. That meaning is still valid. So while they didn't mean to include everything that we are seeing, it is our individual interpretation of what we see. We are
Yeah.
picking up on different things that maybe they didn't intend to put there, but we are exercising, philosophical theory, and we are looking at what's the meaning behind this, depending on what we all see. And I think it's interesting. Like I said, most of the fun of the show is this, what we are doing right now, talking to
Theorizing.
all of you guys on
Yeah.
a Wednesday at like 10 a.m. about a show we're obsessed with. This is the fun.
Exactly. I mean, I love watching the show, but yeah, this is what is fun about is having, people to talk about it with. This is one of those shows that it's not a show that you can just watch and then walk away from it and not think about it until next week when another episode comes on. It is just not one of those shows. This is one of those shows you watch an episode, it's all you're thinking about for the next few days. So yeah, it's great to have people to kind of talk about it with and to bounce ideas off and to theorize with and to see, what did you get out of this scene? What did you get out of that scene? Because you're right, we're all watching the same show, but we're all seeing it through our own eyes. And that is filtered through our own perception based on our own lives, our own experiences. So we're all going to see things differently. Nobody sees one thing the same way. So that's what's fun about getting in here and kind of, diving into the weeds with each other and seeing where this stuff goes and what we can potentially solve as a whole. But I can't remember a show that I've had this much fun talking about with other people, probably since Lost.
Mhm. And you didn't have this during Lost.
We
Imagine
didn't
if
have
you
this
had
during Lost.
you didn't
Yeah,
have the channel.
no.
And back in the day, right? How old are we? We're ancient. But back then, if you were obsessed with a show, you had to annoy your friends and family and have
Mhm.
them listen to you go on for hours. What we do now, but talking at our friends and family. You
Yeah,
didn't have the internet like you
yeah,
do now. When you started From, people were not talking about From. You started talking about From before there was a big audience or a big group of people talking about From. You couldn't even research the show because the name is so strange that you would type in From and nothing would come up. Like, from what? The internet was like, from what, girl? What is it that you want to know? So yeah, this is the fun. I love how
mhm,
the community has grown, and to
yeah.
see all of you here on a random Wednesday, I think it's amazing.
Mhm. It is. It is. It's a blast. It really is. I'm so glad that we're finally returning to Fromville. That season 4 is finally on the horizon. April 19th is not that far away. That is just around the corner. That is not really a long wait, which is great. And we have some awesome stuff to talk about and dissect while we wait for April 19th. And again, this is not going to be the only trailer we get. At least I imagine. I'm 90% sure this is not the only trailer that we're going to get. This was only a 30-second teaser. I wouldn't be surprised if they follow the same format that they did for season 3. When season 3 was coming around, this is what they did. They released that little 30-second snippet of Boyd inside the barn with his arms kind of tied to the post, and we hear the screaming in the background. And we were theorizing on whose screams were that. Who exactly is Boyd locked in this barn with? What is Boyd being forced to watch? It was the perfect little 30 seconds for them to release to really get the theory wheel running. This 30 seconds didn't exactly have that aspect to it. It was just kind of more of a vague look at the season, although there's still a lot of stuff there to dissect. But it's definitely not going to be the only one. I imagine maybe a month and a half from now, the latest, we'll get a full 2 or 3 minute trailer that'll give us a lot more, a much better look at season 4. But for now, it is so awesome that Fromville is back. We are returning to the town. We finally got a little look at season 4, and it looks phenomenal. I cannot wait. I definitely get the feeling this is going to be a very dark season.
I mean, it has to be, right? We have entered the point in the game where, like the man in yellow says, this is his favorite part.
Yep.
Why is it his favorite part?
Why?
That
Yeah.
means that I'm telling you, it's a teaser, but we got a lot of information. If he's saying,
Yeah.
this is my favorite part, why? That
Mhm.
means that he is involved, heavily involved. That means that he does something. He's at play here. So this is definitely going to be a brutal season because he's letting us know, oh, you have no idea what I'm about to do to you. If it's his favorite part, it's his favorite part for a reason, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that means things are about to pop off, and this is perfectly foreshadowed in the second episode of the entire series. You go all the way back to season 1, episode 2. This is foreshadowed right then and there with that one line from Ethan that this is a quest, that we have to complete the quest before we leave. And the closer we get to the end of the quest, that's when it gets the scariest. We are at the beginning of the end now. This is when it's going to get the scariest. It was laid out very clear for us at the very beginning, very much heavily foreshadowed that this is going to be a very, very dark season. And I think we're going to lose a lot of characters. Characters.
We need to redo on our next live stream. Let's redo based on what we have now, who might die.
Yes. I mean, yes, we could do a quick one right now if we want.
And I really like what,
mm-hmm.
Sorry. Before we move away from that topic, Palma Shelby has an excellent observation. And sometimes things are simpler than they seem. Men in Yellow is violent. So his favorite part has to be violence.
Yeah.
Great observation.
Does
he loves ripping people's throat out. Like his favorite part has to be what he likes to do, which is kill.
Does that mean another massacre is on its way? The massacre that wiped out the 1978 timeline where Victor was the only survivor. Could that mean another massacre or an attempted massacre is coming for this group?
Wow.
Is that his favorite part? Maybe his favorite part is the ending, the massacre, and then it starts all over again for him.
The ending.
Yeah. Yep. I can't wait. They could have kept the countdown clock if they were dropping this. I'm a little disappointed, but still appreciative. Yeah, that was I thought that was a little weird that they put up that countdown clock and then it just disappeared because they only put it on their stories. So it kind of disappears after a few hours. They should have just posted it right to their main page and had an active kind of clock running down. That probably would have been a better bet. But again, MGM hasn't always been the best at marketing this show, unfortunately. Haven't always been the best. But yeah, before we head out, let us know, guys, one character that you think is not going to make it out of season 4. If you had to pick one character that you're sure is going to die, who is not making it out of season 4? PM, one character, who you got?
I mean, I think Christy, right? But I think that my idea is Christy because I am heavily influenced by you. And when I hear you say Christy, I'm like, yeah, Christy. I do like what the chat is saying. We didn't see Kenny. There's a lot of people we didn't see. We didn't see Kenny, but we also didn't see Acosta.
Yeah.
I would like
Elgin. There's a few characters we didn't see. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of them. So Christy, I feel like I say that because everything you say, I'm like, yes, right? So to come up with something on my own, I think Acosta. I think that if there's going to be two factions of the town and somebody's going to want to go against Boyd, that's not going to end well. We have a lot going on. We have the Men in Yellow against Tabitha and Jade. If the town splits up and it's Acosta and Boyd, that's too many people. I think that Acosta's going to die.
Ooh, maybe. It could very well be. But yeah, let us know, guys. One person that you think isn't making it out of season 4. Fromaholic says Donna. Ooh, interesting. Robert Saunders has Christy, Donna, and Ellis on the death list. All 3 would break Boyd. Indeed. Even Fatima. And you could add Fatima and Kenny to that list as well. Any one of those characters dying would really break Boyd. We got Donna, another vote for Donna. We got a vote for Sarah. No, not Sarah. Uh-oh. Sarah dies. We riot. Kenny, RIP deputy. Hopefully not. I think Kenny's safe. Kenny's one of the few characters I think is going to be safe for a while. Donna, another vote for Donna. Palmy Shelby says Ethan. We got another one for Marielle, RIP. Yes, indeed. Samuel, the Man in Yellow, steals the bike Jade stole. That would be, my life would be complete if I saw that. Golden Child says Donna, another vote for Donna. Ethan's going to get bold after Jim's death. Maybe. Absolutely.
He's already bold. He's running around acting insane.
He is. Victor's dad. Victor's dad from Luke Starkiller, and this was going to be my pick as well. I didn't want to go with Christy, because I've said that a million times before. The foreshadowing for Christy dying has been pretty obvious in season 3, with all those conversations she has with Kenny about saying, if something ever happens to me, don't lose hope. They're foreshadowing Christy's death a lot, it seems. But I think Victor's dad, Henry, I think Henry is going to not make it out of season 4. I feel like, narratively speaking, he's kind of served his purpose. Now, I suppose you can definitely maybe want to keep him around if you're going to bring Eloise back. You're going to want to have that reunion. But I don't know. I feel like if Eloise doesn't get brought back, Henry really has not a whole lot of narrative purpose left. His purpose in the narrative has really already been served. His purpose was what Tabitha needed from him, and that was to go to the real world to see the drawings down in the basement so she could eventually remember who she really is. Henry himself wasn't necessarily really needed in Fromville, at least as far as we know so far. Maybe the boy in white does have some kind of plan for Henry. Maybe, who knows? But I think Henry's going to be a goner. I do. For some reason, I think Henry's going to not make it. Henry and Christy were always at the top of my list for season 4 deaths. Ellis is a goner. Another good one. Again, if they are continuing to try and break Boyd, what better way to do that than to go after Ellis? Absolutely. I hope Acosta, then Ellis as a close second. It better not be Jade or Kenny. Yeah, as long as it's not Jade, as long as it's not Kenny, as long as it's not Victor or Boyd, I'll be happy. Those are the 4 characters I do not want anything to happen to. But you can kill anybody else you want, by all means. But we'll see. We shall see. Ellis 1,000,000% dying, says Rolo. Maybe. Boyd could be a goner soon as well, because we need to see Kenny's succession to become Boyd's new sheriff. And you guys know my thinking on this. That's exactly how I think it's going to go. I think Boyd, I don't think it's going to happen this season, though. I do think Boyd will survive this season, but I do think Boyd will die in the final season. And then, yes, Kenny will take over for him and lead everybody out to safety. I feel like they have foreshadowed it way too much for Kenny to not take over at some point. So I do think that is ultimately how Boyd's story is going to end, with him probably dying while he's helping save everybody else, and Kenny will finish the job. That's kind of how I see Boyd's story going. May Kent says Randall.
Randall. That's going to absolutely kill us, you guys. Because, okay, my favorite character is Boyd. I love Jade, Victor, all of them, but Boyd is my type of man. Like, yeah. I love Boyd. I love what he stands for. He's great. Love the type of man that he is. I admire that type of man. And I could definitely see there is no future for Boyd in the outside world. There is nothing for Boyd on the outside. I can definitely see, since he was coming up on retirement and the type of man that he is, I don't see him dying season 4. But what you just said, him dying season 5, I see him dying in the finale, having accomplished the mission. His mission, his purpose here was to save them. They continuously said, Boyd, when you came in here, you saved the town. You saved us. You gave us a life. You gave us a hope, right? And so I see Boyd as the type of man that accomplishes his mission, even if it kills him. I see him sacrificing himself or getting badly hurt, saving everybody and staying behind.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it happening. I just feel like it's a very fitting ending for his character, where he does accomplish what he set out to do. His death is the thing that is needed to get everybody out. And then Kenny finishes the job, because Kenny has always been meant to take over for Boyd. I feel like they're foreshadowing that very heavily. But who knows? I guess we shall see. But yeah, that's going to be tough. I definitely think Boyd's not going to survive one way or another. I don't think he's going to survive the whole show. If it's not, if he doesn't go out that way, saving everybody and Kenny taking over, it'll be something else. But I don't see Boyd surviving the whole show.
I am Star is up to no good in the chat again.
Oh,
she's
God.
Like, Boyd and his worms can go.
Boyd is a big ball of confusion. Get him out of here.
Wow,
Jeez.
my poor Boyd. All he's
Oh
doing
boy.
is trying to help these people who don't want to be helped.
Yeah.
They don't want his help. He's
Don't
just
want his
trying
help.
to.
And Seba brings up a good point as well. Nah, Jade can go. He'll just get reincarnated anyway.
Oh,
That's
that's
a
true.
really good point.
That's
This is a
smart.
good point. Might not be the same Jade, but it's the same. So yeah, you have a point there. Maybe they split into the cult and people not in a cult. I mean, yeah, PM was talking about that a little bit earlier. How the new character that is coming into the show, Sophia, very heavily religious background, how she might potentially start kind of peeling people over and forming her own little group, maybe.
Mhm.
A lot of people do think there is going to be some kind of split in season 4, some kind of schism in between the town where maybe half the town goes one way and half the town goes the other way. I could potentially see that happening. I mean, they did very much lay the groundwork in season 3 for people very much starting to lose their faith in Boyd. That was very clear. People were losing their faith in Boyd to keep them safe. So I could very well see something happening in season 4 where one character steps up and kind of proves himself to the town and starts kind of cultivating a leadership. I could very well see a little schism
Mhm.
happening in season 4.
I love the cult idea because you guys know I love a cult. If there's anything, I've been dying to be part of a cult in any way, shape, or form. Um, I love a cult, but it would be fitting for the story. It's not just that I like it, it would fit the story. What is the story about? The answers to the end are at the beginning. This is the story of people that came together with a belief that kind of, pushed them to sacrifice children. That is literally the description of a cult. A group of people that came together to sacrifice somebody for an entity, for a purpose, to gain something in return. So we started from with a cult. We started from
Mm.
with a group of people that had this belief of doing something horrifying like a sacrifice in order to gain something. The story is about a cult. So it would be very fitting that we get our cult back, right? And it would be even better if Sophia starts thinking have to start sacrificing people and we come full circle. This
We've
is the
angered
story.
God. We need to make a sacrifice to
Just like the children, because this is the ideas that got a town full of people to decide that it was okay to sacrifice these children in order
Mm,
to ask for eternal life.
yeah.
Maybe to ask for an exit, they're going to sacrifice or want to sacrifice
If
somebody
we want to
else.
get out of here, we need to do another
We
sacrifice.
I mean, you could see how somebody can
I
put
could
that
see
together.
it.
A religious person saying, "This is how it started, and in order to get out of it, we must do the same thing. It requires a sacrifice." This is the story about a cult, after all. This is
Mm,
how it started. Somebody convinced them through religion of sorts or of theology. If you kill the children, I will give you eternal life. An entity, a god, the men in yellow. So I think it's fitting. It's fitting with the theme of From. Also, you guys, how much fun would it be to see Sophia, Elgin, and Sarah, the three psychopaths, going around town just like wreaking havoc?
I mean, it could be interesting, I suppose. It could be interesting. I mean, she's an interesting character to introduce this late in the game, especially with the whole religious background. It'll be fun to see where they go with that character. What kind of again they must have added this character this late in the game for a very specific reason. She's going to probably fill a very specific role, and who knows? Maybe it will be that dividing the town. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Fletcher from Fletcher says, my wild prediction: the fan base will support Acosta by the end of the season. People used to hate on Jade and Randall as well, and now they're fan faves. Now this is I mean, I could see this being a possibility where maybe it all depends on what route Acosta's character is going to take in season 4. Could she have a little bit of a redeeming type route that the fan base will be behind her by the end of the season? I mean, wouldn't it be interesting if by the end of the season the fan base was behind Acosta and against Boyd? Like, imagine that if that's how they kind of write this season to kind of little turn the tables, I guess. I'm not really expecting that, but I think it would be kind of ironic if nothing else. But no, that'll be an interesting thing to find out. But we got Fletcher's prediction. By the end of the season, Acosta will be adored by the fans or supported by the fans. Maybe. We got Wall St. Tech for 567. Thank you so much, Wall St. Tech. Very much appreciate it. In this case of cult magic worked, and now they're stuck inside the circle. I mean, that is an interesting way to look at it. I mean, this original kind of group of parents, you can call them a cult, I guess, I suppose, that are having these children for the sole purpose of being sacrificed. They were born in the dark, lived in the dark, and died in the dark. It seems like these Ankui children were born for that specific purpose, just to be sacrificed. So yeah, that definitely makes you think of this kind of cult-like mentality that believed that they were going to achieve some form of immortality because they were most likely misled by the man in yellow, probably. So no, it's interesting. There's all kind of little culty themes woven throughout from, for sure. Valaditis, all men must serve. Indeed, all men must serve. Yeah, Boyd is Fromville's punching bag. Poor Boyd, man, isn't he? He really is. He's been put through the freaking ringer. Absolutely been put through the freaking ringer. It's too bad. It's too bad. Do you think Jade's eye is going to pop off like in his visions? I mean, I don't know. I don't think Jade's going to lose an eye anytime soon. I mean, I do kind of wonder if a lot of the people that Jade is seeing in his visions are former versions or former incarnations of himself. I do wonder that from time to time, including the guy with the one eye. But I don't know. It looks like the guy with the one eye had done to him what was done to Kelly as well. It seems like those two cases are very, very similar, where we had the one that had his eye, a railroad spike was shoved right through his eye and he was stuck to a tree. That is the vision that Jade originally sees, with him stuck to the tree with the railroad spike through his eye. And then we saw that happen to Kelly in season 2 when she was stuck to a tree with a piece of rebar through her forehead, just stuck there. So that kind of reminded me of that. It almost seems like that's just one of the methods in which the monsters like to torture their victims, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it's very, very fitting. I'm going back to cult. So, because I see the chat is kind of like saying where they see cult things. So there's a list of things that are cultish, not only the cult mentality, which I love that you stated that, because it does take a cult mentality for all of these people in a town to say, not only are we going to sacrifice them, but this is not a one-day thing. This is not a one-day belief. The children were born in the dark, died in the dark. The children are about 8, 9, 10. That means for a long period of time, you had to be in on the belief up until the last minute, like Tabitha and Jade. We also have totems, you guys. We have totems and talismans. Those are symbolic symbols of a theology, a cult, an ideology of a group of people, that this is what helps you, what saves you. So that in itself, those totems are symbolic, and the talismans of a theology, a religion. What is a religion? A religion is a cult. We also have the red rocks, the 3 red rocks that are painted and are in a form, and the place where the children were sacrificed, that is all surrounded in a circle. So I think that, when you put that all together, what do we get? We get a cult.
It's got some of the makings of it, at the very least. It's hard to deny that. That's for sure. That is for sure. I mean, yeah, something clearly manipulated these original parents into, getting them into this mindset, into doing this deed, into doing this sacrifice. And you have to have some level of brainwashing to be able to get to that point where you're willing to sacrifice your own child just for your own gain of immortality. So yeah, it's very, very cult-like at the very least. What about Jim? Do you think Elon Bailey will return? I mean, I think he's dead. I do think he's dead and gone, but will he return on the show? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Jim showing up in like ghost form, like kind of similar to how we see Father Cautry return, similar to how we see Tom the bartender return. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a version of Jim like that in season 4. Maybe he'll appear to Tabitha, maybe he'll appear to Julie, but I wouldn't be too surprised if we have a ghost-like cameo of Jim. Wouldn't be surprised.
I would love to
What about
see
you?
Jim. Yeah, I would love to see Jim come back. Not for Julie, because we know that Julie is in her story arc of trying to save him. So if he comes back to Julie, I think that that could interfere with the storyline of her trying to save her father and failing. I like him for the apparition that presents itself to Tabitha when Tabitha is having a difficult moment, or perhaps a moment where she doesn't want to continue, because, like you guys said in the chat, all
Exactly.
Tabitha does is say, no, 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 I'm not going to do it. No, no, no. She wants to give up. Like that is
Yeah.
what she does, right? Our girl, Tabitha.
Yeah.
Um, I like him to be maybe that force that shows up in Tabitha's life, the manifestation that says, you can do this. You need to keep
Mhm.
going. You
Yeah.
need to get our children out of here. We still have our 2 kids. I'm not here anymore, but gives her the strength to carry on so that she can get the children that they had together out of from. Now, the screenshot that you have on the screen right now, we never see Donna out of Colony House. We don't really see
Not
her out and
often.
about
Not in the
with a
wood.
backpack.
Yeah, this is different for her. Very
This is
true.
very different for her. Um, you showed us a picture where she has a cane. She doesn't
Yes.
have a cane here. So my idea, when we put
Or she
the
could.
clues,
We might not just, maybe we
yeah,
don't see the cane. She could have it. Yeah.
she could have it. When we put the clues that we have together, like the episode titles, the 2 pictures that we have in this teaser trailer, my prediction is that Donna goes out there to, Cannibal Village, because she's
The
looking at a
new
totem
settlement.
right now.
Yeah.
She gets hurt, badly hurt. She ends up needing a cane.
Ooh,
And
okay.
she is the subject of the episode title, The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, because she goes out on
Ah,
her own.
interesting. Interesting. Okay, I like that. I like that. I think that's it's a sound theory. I think it's a very sound theory. I like that. Very good. Yeah, I know Donna with a backpack. So weird. It is, right? It just doesn't it just doesn't look right. Anytime I see Donna with her hands out of her pockets, it doesn't look right. I mean, I feel like unless Donna is walking around with her hands in her pockets, she just doesn't look like Donna, you know? But yeah, very, very different look for her, for sure, with the backpack. Definitely. Yeah, it's her turn to go get the food. Could be that. I mean, maybe this is one of those. I mean, we do know that they do make excursions to the settlement to gather food. They did it twice in season 3. Maybe Donna's going on one of the runs and ends up getting hurt on that run. That's a possibility as well, for sure. Yeah, it's just interesting to see her out in the woods like this in front of the totems. You know, like this is just it's so not her setting. You know, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what she's doing out there in the woods. Very much looking forward to it. Mole Donna is back. No, we cannot start that up again. Donna is not the mole. We already know Ravener's the mole. Ravener's the true mole. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, I mean, awesome. Absolutely awesome. Donna the Explorer. Yeah.
Donna the
The
Explorer.
Explorer. Forget Dora. We got Donna. Donna's better than Dora. Yeah, Dawn outside Colony House is different. It's interesting. It is. It's interesting to see her this far outside of Colony House, for sure. Definitely.
But I agree with what you said, Jeremy, because thinking about it, if I go back and think about it now, the only other time that we have seen backpacks was when they went out to gather food. They were
Yep.
all wearing backpacks.
Yep.
One of these backpacks, that looks like one of the backpacks that was used while they were gathering food with the strap across. So
Yep.
I think they just went out to gather food. I think you're absolutely right. That's the only other time we see a backpack.
Yeah, it could be. Could be a food drive. Could be a food drive. In this shot, she pees her pants, says Star. Maybe. So why do some residents turn into monsters while others just get murdered? I don't think any residents turn into monsters. I haven't seen any cases of that. From what we gathered at the end of season 3, the monsters were were the human parents of the Ankui children and got turned into monsters. But then again, it also doesn't make sense because we see on the show there are way more than 12 monsters. So how did all of the other monsters get made is a good question. If that's what you're referring to, Golden Child, my mistake, if that's what you're referring to, then yes, how do we have all these other monsters? We understand how the parents got turned into monsters. They were the ones who did the sacrifice. But why do we have all these other monsters? There's way more than 12. Part of me thought, we talked about this plenty of times, but part of me wondered if when the parents made this sacrifice, they weren't the only ones who got cursed. Maybe their whole town got cursed along with them. Maybe that's why we see monsters dressed like milkmen and nurses and all these very specific kind of outfits, attire that we see. It almost looks like a whole small town got cursed. But that is something that they do need to answer. 100% need to answer. I haven't seen any of the residents that we know get turned into monsters. But at some point, these humans did get turned into monsters, and it's a lot more than just the parents. So that does need to get explained. Why are there more than 12 monsters?
Yeah, I've always thought that what took place through a democratic vote. If you are keeping children for that long, and there's so many of them, it's not
Something
just
the
one
whole town
child.
voted on?
Yeah, it's not one child, it's multiple children. So multiple families are coming in. 12 people are making this decision. It doesn't go unnoticed by a very small town. So I always thought that it happened through a democratic vote where the town made a choice. Are you in on the sacrifice or are you against it? And the entire town voted. They decided that they were for it since they would all benefit. The benefit wasn't just the parents, the benefit was going to be for everybody. The entire town will get eternal life if you sacrifice somebody else's child. And therefore, they're like, yes, why wouldn't I if the parent wants to? So I believe that since you're all going to benefit, then everybody takes a vote. The reason why I believe that is because we get a hint of that in the first episodes. Remember when they do the vote and they say you have to pick town or colony house?
Yeah.
Everybody has to pick.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't make sense and it was out of place because he was making even the children pick, right? And it's like, why would you not just have the head of household make a decision for where they're going to live? And they said, no, everybody must choose, even the children.
Yeah.
Why would that be? That is a hint that when the original sacrifice happened, every single individual that would benefit from the sacrifice had to make a choice. They all had to be in on it. And I think that the entire town was in on it. And therefore, all of them are cursed.
That's why we see a whole town of monsters and not just the 12 parents. Yeah.
Yes.
Because not only do we see a whole town, but we see even what looks to be a couple high school kids that look to be of high school age that were turned into monsters as well. The one that we see at the beginning of season 1 that talks to Julie. So yeah, it very much looks like an entire town got cursed and was turned into these things, not just the parents. And that could be it. Maybe the whole town was in on it. It was something they voted on, maybe. Who knows? And yeah, maybe the milkman got a double dose of the curse, the way he dethroated the goat, the cow. Yeah, maybe. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. But yeah, that's something they definitely need to answer definitively. And I imagine they probably will at some point in season 4. They'll give us a definitive answer as to what is really going on, why there's this many monsters, why there's this many talismans. And I love the talisman theory that Nick was talking about and that you guys were kind of talking about in the Discord. I love that theory in spirit. I almost wish I didn't see the autopsy scene. Because I love it. For those who don't know, Nick L. had a really, really interesting theory about why there's only 12 talismans. Because that's something I've always wondered as well. How come there's only 12 talismans? Why specifically 12? And there were also 12 parents. that sacrificed their children. Nick had the theory that the 12 talismans were the 12 hearts of the parents. The 12 hearts were turned into talismans. They were turned to stone and carved into talismans. And I thought that was a great freaking theory. I loved it. And then I started to remember about the autopsy scene when Christy does the autopsy on Smiley and she cuts him open and his heart is still in his body. I was like, damn it, no. Because I love that. I thought that was such a cool theory that the 12 talismans could be the 12 hearts of the parents turned to stone and carved into talismans. The one thing that keeps people safe is a part of them. That would be so ironic. That would be such a fitting bit of irony where their hearts is the one thing that keeps them out. But again, it looks like their hearts are still intact, as Smiley did seem to have his heart in his body during the autopsy. But I still love that theory. It's such a cool theory.
Yeah. And if you have not joined Jeremy's Discord, go ahead and join the Discord. We will post a picture of the autopsy. But yes, this theory went deep. So Nick came up with the theory of the 12 parents' hearts being the talismans, which is beautiful theory. And then Bill and Robert Saunders and I added on to the theory of how can we save them? Maybe by putting the hearts back into the monsters, you can finally kill them and get out of From by giving them back their heart. You can kill the monsters.
Or making them human again.
Exactly. You cannot kill them. So if you can use violence, then it must be redemption. The answer must be, since I can't kill them, redeeming them is the way out. So I thought that it all fit beautifully together. Bill, Robert, and Nick, I think we had something going, you guys. But of course, Jeremy has to rip our heart out and prove us wrong.
No, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, there is still a possibility that like Nick brings up the possibility of the parents being reborn into maybe other villagers. So maybe their original hearts were still available. So there is a possibility there. I mean, yes, seeing Smiley's heart inside of his body does kind of poke a bit of a hole in the theory, but there's still a workaround there that could potentially make that a reality, I guess. But I just think it's such a cool theory. It's just such a fit. It's such a fitting, interesting theory because it fits on a few different levels.
I think it's a poetic justice.
It is. It's very much
if you are a parent, yeah, it's just this poetic justice of if you are a parent who decided to sacrifice your child, you lost your heart. You must have no heart, or your heart must have been turned into stone for you to be able to do that in order for you to gain something. And it's therefore, when you are a monster, the one thing you can't get close to is what you lost, the heart. You can't get close to what you have lost, which is your heart. That is the one thing that you stay away from, that you don't want to interact with. So that makes, beautiful sense, very poetically just for the children who had to suffer that. I do believe, though, this is the fun. We have a lot of theories. We have millions of theories on the board. It is very helpful when we could find proof, because you have a screenshot that is like undeniable proof that the heart is there. It's very helpful when we have these discussions and we can eliminate, out of the millions of theories, we could eliminate some so that we could clearly get to the answer, because that's what we're doing. We're all working on a group project here. We're trying to solve From. So I think it's super helpful, Jeremy.
It's so fun. It's always so fun to just dive into this stuff together, because then once you get into this group setting, you start seeing other people's point of view, and you start to see how they're seeing something and how that can kind of give you some new insight into it, and you start to see something in a different light. So this show is just perfectly set up for these kinds of discussions, and it's always a blast. And I swear, every time we do one of these streams, I always leave the stream with knowledge that I didn't have going into it. I feel like I learn something new every single time we do one of these streams, because we do have, the most knowledgeable chat in all of YouTube. Like, these guys are on it. And I love that. I love that. I love how we all have that inquisitive eye where we love to kind of take a deeper look at what we're really seeing and not just the surface level. And that's what's fun about From. And that's what's difficult about From, trying to decipher what we should be paying closer attention to and what is just setting background noise or distractions. That is the difficulty of From, trying to decide what we should be paying close attention to and what we should be ignoring. But it's fun. That's what makes it fun. It's a challenge. It's a challenging show. It challenges you mentally. And I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that.
And Pama Shelby, stop calling us a cult. We have the Fromily. There's lots of names for the group. So I am starting my own new group. If you want to join me, this is the From Cult. I'm starting my cult right now. If you want to be the first member of my From Cult, join me. And that will be our name. We'll come up with a name and everything. We'll wear talismans around our necks.
The From Villains.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it.
Love it. Love it. Well, it looks like you got your first member, Fromaholic Cult. There it is. There it is. Fromily Tinfoil Hat Cult. Love it. Absolutely love it. Good stuff. Yeah, PM is our Lottie for sure. Good stuff. But it's just so fun to have something new to talk about. Finally, we've been waiting so long for something to come down the pipeline. We've been dissecting every little frame of the first 3 seasons for the last year and a half. And it's just great. It's great to know that we finally have something new to dissect, something new to pour over, something new to discuss over the next few weeks. And before we know it, we'll have a full 2-minute trailer, probably coming in a month and a half or so. We'll have a full 2-minute trailer that we can dissect even more. But I'm so glad that we have our first look at From season 4. It looks phenomenal, even though it definitely still needs some polishing a little bit. This is definitely not the finished version. They're still working on post-production. So the show itself will definitely look a lot crisper and clearer and a lot more finished than how this teaser looks. But this is a great start. This is an absolutely phenomenal start. I'm so glad we got something new to talk about finally. And From season 4 is just around the corner. And we also have Nikki Panda for another $2.79. Thank you so much. Acolyte Panda, Mommy PM. Well, it looks like you got another member. The members are pouring in already for PM's From Cult.
It's 3 of us. Nikki, it's 3 of us. While Marjoram signed up, me and you, 3 of us. The power of 3.
It's growing. It's already growing. And if you guys haven't already, definitely get over there and subscribe to PM's channel. She's going to be starting to do some more From content pretty soon. She's got some awesome stuff she's working on. She's got a great review up there of 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. So if you guys have seen The Bone Temple already, definitely check out her review, leave her a comment, and subscribe to her channel if you haven't already. I'm looking forward to seeing some of your From content that you're working on. I know you're working on some very juicy stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, you guys, subscribe if you want, and if you want to join our cult.
Yes.
Jeremy, what do you say? Are you in?
You know me, I'm in. I'm always in. I am always in. Absolutely. I'll be the conciliary of the cult. That'll be my role, I guess. But here is the link to PM's channel. Definitely get over there, give her a sub, and be on the lookout for her awesome From content that's going to be coming out pretty soon. But here we are, folks. We are here. From season 4 is just around the corner now, April 19th. Mark down your calendars, everybody. We will probably be doing a live watch party for episode 1 on the premiere. Right when it premieres at midnight, we'll probably go live and do a nice live watch party right here like we usually do. So mark down your calendars, ladies and gents. From season 4 is just around the corner now, and things are going to start getting interesting. Things are going to start getting interesting. Awesome stuff. But that is going to do it for us on our initial breakdown of this awesome new From season 4 teaser. I might go live tonight and do a little bit more dissecting of the teaser. So be on the lookout for that. I'll put a notification in the Discord either way. But I'll probably be going live again either tonight or tomorrow night. If not tonight, definitely tomorrow night. But I'll try and do it tonight. If I'm not too busy, I'll go live again tonight and we'll talk more about the trailer. Because I know this was a during the day stream. It's not our usual time. And maybe some people haven't even seen the trailer yet or not even up yet. So I might try and go live tonight. But if not, I will also have my season 4 teaser trailer video breakdown up on the channel probably tomorrow. I'm going to start working on that after the stream. I'm going to go watch this teaser a few more times, and I'm going to really properly dissect it. I can always dissect things a lot easier when it's just when I'm not on a stream. When you're on a stream, you kind of can't pay attention as closely as you can when you're just alone. You pick up more stuff that way. For me anyway. So I'm going to go watch this trailer probably 100 more times. I'm going to work on my breakdown video. I'll try and get that up on the channel probably tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. And From is back, ladies and gentlemen. From is officially back, and we will be doing tons of streams from now leading up to April 19th when the season eventually gets here. But for now, this is a great start. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming and joining us on this awesome premiere of the From Season 4 trailer. Had well over 100 in here for most of the stream. I'm so thankful to each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys tonight for part 2 of our dissection of the Season 4 teaser trailer. So stay safe out there, ladies and gents. Be kind to one another. Keep those tinfoil hats on. Subscribe to PM Philosophy, and we will see you on the next one. Cheers.
Mom.
If we push too hard, simply push back.
What happens next is my favorite part.